were doing a stream with the dawn of everything, which maybe we'll get into everything, I guess. Should be fun.
Right. All right, we're going to get right into it. I know they're forming a watch party for this, the main guys. So we're going to start with personal background and journey for you. Miku, your VTuber journey started with the Vtards in July 2025. Was that the moment you decided to lean into the Nazi Miku persona? By the way, I just need to do one more thing. This is my fit. People make memes of it every day. I get a different outfit every time. I have a black velvet suit on and a gold tie. And the gold tie is actually a limited edition Zelda tie.
Ooh, that's very nice. Okay. I think you look professional. We're both wearing suits and ties, so yeah, we're doing professional shit. Oh, sorry.
Do you need me to
try not to swear?
Nah, it's okay. Don't worry. I have to go through this anyway. I have to edit it, so it's no big deal. All right, yeah. You need me to reread the question?
You're pretty much asking when I decided to, go into VTubing?
Yes. What decided you to lean into the Nazi Miku persona?
Yeah, I mean, it mostly, I've said this, I think, a few times, is, it started with just, trying to create a character, thinking of something, kind of right-wing, and, I generated AI images of the character, and, I just really liked the character. So I started creating, images for it and doing shit posts with it on Twitter, and it seemed to get a lot of traction, so I was like, okay, maybe there's something here. Maybe there's something interesting here. And then more and more I started kind of looking at VTubers. I'd seen VTuber stuff before, but I started watching some of them. I was like, maybe it's possible to, bring Miku to life, which I thought just would be really cool. So I was pretty much, around that time, I started considering the idea and then built a VTuber model for it, did the rigging myself and everything, and I was like, dang, this actually looks kind of cool. So, I just thought, hey, this could be something interesting, and that's pretty much it, I think.
So, based on that, were you going to make this VTuber and do this even before you were invited into the Vtards?
Oh yeah, I was, I mean, I hadn't done a ton of streams before that, but yeah, I was streaming before the Vtards situation, so, it was completely separate from that whole thing.
You mentioned in one of your streams that your brother exposed you to Nick Fuentes. What's the first Fuentes clip that pulled you into the far right territory? And how did it tie into your life these days? And also, do you really have a brother? Is this...
I actually have two brothers.
Okay.
A younger and an older, but the brother I always referenced as Miku was referring to myself.
Oh,
so
okay.
the idea I had was that, me in the real life was Miku's brother. That's kind of how I
saw things.
Was saying that, but for what?
That's how you saw things?
Yeah. So it wasn't, my other brothers had nothing to do with this. They didn't even know about it. But what was the first time I saw Nick? Oh my gosh. I mean, I've been watching Nick since he was on YouTube, basically around the time he first started. I can't quite exactly remember the exact clip. I don't even remember how I came on to Nick, but yeah, I mean, it was a long time ago. Probably actually when he started when
he went
started
from
getting
gaming,
mentioned maybe around other places.
After he left gaming? Or later than that?
Maybe, yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
And
yeah.
how I tie it in today, I pretty much try to maybe every now and then like watch some Nick clips and react to them. Um, but yeah, it's and I try to catch some of his shows when I can, but he does one every single night, which is pretty pretty intense. I don't know how he does it, but I try to watch some every now and then.
I used to I used to stream every night but Sunday because Sunday's church, a day of rest. Um, it says
Yeah,
your software
right.
developer background led you to freedom. It says the Twitter clone user with one user. What is the original version of it? And do you still tinker with coding as Kenneth or me?
Yeah, it was called feed nom. Like,
Freedom,
like you have a feed. Yeah, feed
feed.
nom, and
I've
like
never
nom
heard.
is like consuming the feed type thing.
I've never heard of that in my life,
Yeah, I
but I
basically
understand
made
it.
it up, but
Oh, okay.
yeah, yeah. So I did that way before Miku. And there were a couple of people who used it, maybe like four or five. Maybe like one or two nowadays, because yeah, it didn't quite get much of anywhere, and it kind of is what it is. I had done that at a time when, before True Social, before Gab, before Getter, before all these other platforms started coming up, before Rumble. And yeah, I was trying to do something in the space because I was upset with how freedom of speech was getting handled on social media online. So I thought, I could try and do something about it. And I did the best I could, and I think I, built something that actually works and is pretty cool. I mean, it does have live streaming in it too. So it's kind of like a combination of X, Twitter, like Facebook and maybe Twitch.
Why were you?
But
I thought you were banned from Twitch.
yeah, I was banned from
Oh.
Twitch. I'm talking about like Feednom. Like you could
Oh, okay.
actually stream, you could live stream to Feednom if you wanted to. But um, so yeah, I kind of did that. Um, I never really like promoted it, so that's probably why it didn't really get anywhere. But it is what it is. I mostly just did it for fun, because I love coding, and it was like one of those projects that I could just really sit and build out something and dedicate a lot of time to it. I think it's been up for like 6 years, but I was also building it live, which probably wasn't a good idea because people in software, it's like if you go to a website or an app and you run into a problem, you're probably not going to use that app again. So I had quite a few people that ran into issues when I was really, really first starting out, and they just never came back. So I would probably not build it live in production, building it as I go. I would probably, keep it offline, build it locally, and then deploy it when it's all ready. So that's probably something I would do differently for that. Um, but yeah, I definitely still tinker with code. I'm pretty active on GitHub and stuff. I'm doing some more templates and stuff to kind of like build out my coding portfolio for like getting jobs and stuff. So yeah, I definitely still do a lot of coding, mostly in React Native, JavaScript. I know C Sharp. I do Python, all
I'm
types of stuff.
I mostly
But
do Python, Python and Java as a computer scientist myself. Um,
oh yeah, do you have a degree?
I do a bachelor's. Yeah, I have a bachelor's. It's computer
Oh, very
science,
nice.
software engineering, and math, and then cultural anthropology, which was because of electives. Four.
Hell yeah.
Um, as a
I,
DJ,
I only have an
huh?
associate's degree, so
As a DJ and a music producer, you made tracks, like your Nazi theme remixes. Is this true? Um, did you ever do that?
never done anything
Never think did
musically
that.
with Nazi stuff.
What's
Not
one
really.
beat you dropped
I mean,
pre-dot
I
that you
made
remixed
like
without the persona? See, so that was a quote from someone that I found. So I have a feeling they may have asked you to make one after, and that's what I found.
I've had anyone ask me to make like Nazi music or anything like that.
No,
I mean, I do like
Kanye music.
edits. I mean, I've done like edits and stuff with like putting Miku on there and stuff, but not like remixing on an actual deck. So yeah, it's been a while since I've actually done DJ stuff.
You've admitted to not reading Mein Kampf, despite the Nazi LARP. What's the one book that sourced the shape of your political views?
I mean, I'm about a third of the way through my Kampf now. I actually started reading it, so still working on that, but yeah. I don't read a ton of books, to be honest. I mean, most of the stuff I read is like news articles.
Okay.
Which I don't do as much as I used to now. But before Miku, I used to do like, I guess kind of similar to Nick Fuentes, which is like, I'd read the news and I'd try to do like a stream about what was going on in the news that day. And I actually use my actual face and real voice and everything. But not much of that is public. But or I even still have anymore. A lot of it got deleted. But yeah, what's a book that shaped me? I don't know if like a political book. I don't think I finished it, but maybe it would be something like Plato's Republic.
I would.
Like I really like the concept of like philosopher kings and stuff.
I read Trump Jr.'s book. It's pretty good. And I also read The Art of the Deal, I think.
Oh yeah. I have read a good chunk of The Art of the Deal. I have a problem with finishing books. I don't know why, but
it says, quote, your pedo cartoons rant called Lolicon Child Rape Art. What personal experience with anime or gaming that sparked the hot take? Personally, I don't think it's hot, but
yeah, I don't quite exactly know if that's a hot take, but I mean, I have been online for a long time, since dial-up, right? So, and I've always been on places like 4chan and stuff, so I've seen like some of the worst shit out there, and you just get grossed out by the way some people create that type of stuff, and I do not like porn, so I just generally don't want to be around that type stuff. Yeah, it's mostly just from being around on the internet for so long, you've kind of seen it all, basically. And you just get tired of that type of stuff. You just want to stay away from it.
To quote you, you are a proud Aryan woman. Now, I don't know about that one. You don't have blonde hair here. But in the Vtards, what's the funniest behind-the-scenes moment where a voice changer almost gave you away to a Kimmy or 9? And I say that because Saturn I don't think she would notice that well here.
We didn't talk a ton outside of streaming behind the scenes in like voice chats.
Okay.
I think the only real time we did was like when I was I think in a Kimi server, or mine. I did it on mine, where we had those giant voice chats with like 50 people in them or something, and everyone was just kind of going crazy. Those were hilarious. I think you were a part of them, a few of them.
Yeah.
But those were wild and fun. I wouldn't say like the voice changer gave it away. I actually run the voice changer separately to a laptop that then feeds into my normal desktop. So it's not like if the voice changer were to break that my actual voice would have came through or anything like that. It would just go dead. Um,
Well,
but I
that's good
think
to
in
know.
front of yeah. I think in front of like in front of the scenes, the funniest part that could have done that maybe was I think when we all did that first collab together, which I think Saturn still has up on YouTube. But we were doing before we played video games, we were doing like a never have I ever type question thing. And chat started asking, pretty unhinged questions, and I was pretty honest about all the stuff I did, which they were all the Vtard girls were like, wow, people were saying, Miku lore is crazy and stuff, types of things like getting arrested, stealing, doing drugs, crashing cars, gambling, lots of money, getting suspended from school. Like, yeah, I did all types of shit. But
Sounds pretty normal to me.
well, I mean, if you're,
Mm,
you know, it sounds normal for a guy, I guess.
yeah.
That's probably what I
Let's
would say,
see.
but
Your January 6th participation was revealed in the docs. What was one sign or chant from that day that stuck with you the most? It is normal for the dawn. Thank you, Splice.
I think it was really cool when people, um, like before we actually went to the Capitol, like there was a bunch of stuff happening before that. And, I was around the America First people, like Nick Fuentes and all them. And, I mean, the best chant of all is the Christ is King chant. When you have a bunch of people together just chanting like Christ is King, like it's such a good feeling. Like you're just really vibing with everyone. We're all on the same page. It's like heck yeah, Christ is King, America first. That was probably one of the things that stuck with me the most. Maybe the other one is like separate from that would be like when we actually went into the Capitol. People were chanting like "This is our house" type stuff, which I say is kind of why the reason I actually went into the building was because I was under the belief that yeah, this makes sense. The Capitol is the people's house, right? We should be able to go in. But yeah, it doesn't actually quite work like that. You can't just walk in whenever you feel like it. Um, but yeah, those would probably be the two I would say. It's Christ is King, and you know, the Capitol is the people's house.
We're going to move on to the category belief in stances. You called the VTuber community
Okay.
to quote, full of fucking spineless pussies. Afraid to call out,
Did I?
quote, entitled retarded artists. What's one, quote, entitled artist you've called out that you truly hate?
I honestly don't remember saying that. Um, Maybe I did. I really don't have anything against artists per se.
Okay.
I can't say I've ever called out like an artist specifically.
Specifically,
Maybe it was somebody who was like attacking me for using AI or art or something. But
these
yeah,
were,
I really don't have any like artists that I don't like.
yeah, these were replies. So maybe you were responding to someone.
Yeah, maybe it was someone specific, but and generally I don't hate artists, so I don't have anything against artists.
Your quote great replacement theory rants without sarcasm. What's the one statistic or quote proof you still stand by, and how do you feel as you drop it as Miku?
I mean, for me, the great replacement theory stuff is quite
Mm-hmm.
obvious when you have things like, just the amount of people coming in through the southern border. Luckily, that's not happening anymore. I mean, when you have millions and millions of people coming across the southern border illegally, and you see that, like, the leftists and the Democrats want to give them the ability to vote,
And give
I
them
mean,
our money.
eh,
Don't forget about that one.
yeah, give them our money. I mean, that's the reason why the government is shut down right now, is because we don't want to give millions of dollars in healthcare, billions of dollars in healthcare to illegal aliens, and the Democrats do. So yeah, it's just like seeing all that. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that, even if it's not like just white replacement, they're trying to, replace Americans in general, replace our vote. So yeah, I think that's probably the biggest thing for me was what was going on with the southern border. People from all over the world coming into our country, trying to change our country. That's definitely not a good thing.
Okay. You said, quote, I agree 100% with everything I said as Miku in the stream that you did after you were done. What's one of the Vtard's belief, e.g. anti-trans kids, you don't regret ever saying, and why?
Pretty much all of it. I mean, the only thing I would regret, right, was the gender stuff, but I mean, anti-trans kids, yeah. I mean, I don't believe trans kids exist. That's kind of like the whole thing with like the vegan cat. I don't know if you've heard about like vegan cats. It's like the joke is like there are no vegan cats. There's only people like liberals that starve their cats with the wrong type of food and stuff. And I feel it's the same way with like trans kids. Is there are no trans kids. There's only parents that are basically abusing their children. Yeah, I really don't have regrets on like political takes or anything like that. I mean, it mostly aligns with everything I've said. Can't think of anything specifically.
Rolf is my mod here. Rolf, can you pin Miku's kick link in the kick chat? It's in the description on Rumble, but it's not in the kick one. So I didn't have any mods at the time. Let's see here.
Thank you.
Quote from you. You have a lot of quotes. You've said a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I guess
Quote,
so.
America for whites only. Line in the Vtard's what's
Did I say that?
It's written right here.
Okay.
I don't know. We went through a lot of your streams and a lot of messages that you've done, and then we also went through messages of your old Discord and new one. So you may just not remember.
Yeah, probably forget some things.
What was the thought process behind it, and have you ever revealed a change in how you view white nationalism?
Well, in regards to the Americas for whites only thing,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that.
You wouldn't say that.
But what I would say instead, rather, is that America was created as a white nation. So I think other races can live in America.
Right.
But they have to, have the understanding that America was created and founded by white people for white people initially. I mean, it's literally in.
Are you saying
like,
they
the
need
Constitution
to adapt to the culture, right? That.
Right. Correct. Yeah.
Right.
And not try to usurp it.
I've noticed. Have you, since these quotes that I'm reading here, did you ever just say things to be more extreme while you were in the Vtard's era?
If I was like fighting with people, maybe if we were, beefing online.
Right.
Yeah, sometimes I get heated. I get mad. I'm a human.
Okay.
But for politics, probably not.
You called lolly fags pedo while in a group with edgier members. What was the line between edgy and degenerate in your opinion? And did the Vtards cross it? Now that's a quote that someone else told me that you said. So I don't know if you said that. That's a quote from someone else telling me you said that. Just for future reference. That one I have marked here. I have no evidence for that one.
I mean, maybe. I don't think I've ever said the word lollyfags.
Yeah. I don't think
not
you've
my
ever
vocabulary,
said that either.
Yeah. But I mean, I definitely am against like porn of the lolicon stuff. So, I mean, I'm sure I've said it is degenerate, you know. But where did Vtards cross it?
Yeah.
Um, you know, when Vtards was just forming, um, you know, there were it was basically trying to merge 4 or 5. I say 4 because I don't think Shiro's community ever really like merged with ours. But yeah, I was trying to merge like 4 different discords and communities together into something new. And um, I think we all had fans on very different sides. Mine were very political and right wing and did not like degeneracy. And, you know, maybe some of the other girls, because they're not into politics, you know, um, they have people that may subscribe to that they don't know about. You know, you don't really get to choose your fans. So, but um, I would say, yeah, it was probably just between trying to merge everything together that, you know, some of those problems kind of arose. But yeah, that's probably what I would say on that.
Postdocs, you said the community spews Nazi takes. What's one spine you admire VTubers who call out woke stuff?
Um, that's a good question. Um, I mean, just like people who are getting VTubers that are just getting called Nazi for anything in general. I really like Powder. I think Powder does a good job with it. I mean, she's clearly not a Nazi, but she gets labeled as such for having basically, like, I think it started for her. She had one opinion on Trump that wasn't like, you know, I hate Trump or something like that. She was like basically just like, let's see how it goes. Um, and suddenly she became a Nazi, which is utterly ridiculous. But you know, she's stood up to some of that stuff. So I do like to see that.
All right, you finished page 1. Congratulations, 30 minutes in.
Let's go.
Your Nazi. Wait. Your, quote, Nazi bar problem. Hypocrisy in the group. What's the one VTards member whose views you truly aligned with and why?
Well, I think it was pretty obvious early on that Kimi and I were the closest politically aligned. Um, I have said this before, which is like, you know, a lot of people do like to blame me for, you know, the whole Nazi thing on how it blew up. And I think, yes, I definitely made that worse for sure. But I think, you know, even if I wasn't in the group, Akimi is still very much in line with all that. I mean, she literally calls herself Kittler.
I
So I think she's, you know, they still would have had that issue.
Yeah,
Maybe not as bad.
we'll get to that kind of stuff later. But as many of the people who've watched my previous interviews, because each one has like almost 750 views if you add Rumble and YouTube together, uh, I don't. I think you were the secondary problem at this point. You weren't the main one, in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
You ranted about quote
Well,
Jewish.
I mean, behind the scenes, I would say, you know, behind the scenes, I was a really nice person to all of them. I mean, you know, I never said anything bad about them. Um, you know, so I think actually Akimi was the one who joked on like a stream or something that, you know, I was the nicest one out of all of them. So, I mean,
I mean,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, I can't speak to that.
Which I don't believe that's true, to be honest. But,
I think that honor might go to
you know,
Saturn.
I think Dines and Saturn are, yeah, one of them, yeah, for sure.
You ranted about, quote, Jewish question conspiracy. What's the one, quote, control narrative, such as media, you still believe?
No, I wouldn't say it's a conspiracy. I think it's kind of like a fact that Jewish people, kind of run, uh, all the top echelons of all the industries. Like,
Well, look at
Jewish people make up like 2 or 3% of the population, and they hold like close to 90% of all the high positions across all the sectors.
he's speaking
Uh,
facts.
I mean, you can just go down and name them. I mean, it's like OpenAI, Sam Altman is Jewish, Larry Ellison, Oracle CEO, Jewish, Palantir, Alex Karp is Jewish, Mark Zuckerberg, Jewish, Peter Thiel, Harvey
It's
Weinstein,
literally too much for
BlackRock
a
CEO.
coincidence.
Yeah, I mean, it's like,
I
and
mean,
I think
look at how
the
many
whole thing
Jews
with
pay
like the
our politicians
conspiracy,
too.
yeah. And I think the conspiracy behind it is pretty simple logic, really. I mean, it's basically just nepotism, right?
Yeah,
They
and
just hire other Jews.
and I don't want.
Indians do that too. They hire other Indians.
I do want to say something here. I don't hate Jewish people. My babysitters were Jewish, and I love them half to death. One of them just passed away from old age. They were great. Okay, it's just you point out facts, and Miku here is pointing out real facts. Like those, that's just what it is.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I generally just don't outright hate Jewish people for no reason. I just mostly hate like the type of culture that they're promoting. I mean, Hollywood is probably the biggest example of this, but I mean, you see it in Disney movies and stuff, and it's very, very often that the executive producers on some of those TV shows and movies that are promoting, you know, transgender agendas, gay agendas, stuff that destroys society. It's very often that they're Jewish. I don't know. I can't tell you why that is, but that's just how it is.
Miku, you have faced allegations from other VTubers, such as, I just want to make this very clear. A woman that I don't like and hate, Seraph D. Noma, that you are viewbotting on Rumble. How do you respond to these claims? And what was one real source
God,
of your audience growth?
yeah, I did not review bot on Rumble. I'm not even sure how to do that. I mean, I could probably figure it out if I really wanted to, but I mean, if I was viewbotting at Rumble, my numbers would be way higher. Like, my biggest stream was, I think, after the doc stuff and I revealed my real voice and all that. I mean, I had 300, but a lot of that was just hate watchers and stuff. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
after that, it's kind of died down
and I want to be honest,
to
the
around
people
like,
who view
20 to 30.
bot on Rumble, like if you look, they have like 16,000 people. Like the people that do it, you know who does it because they have an extremely high amount. Something insane.
Yeah, and it's pretty obvious too, like if they have a high view count and their chat is like barely moving. Whereas
Right.
like I have a relatively low view count and my chat is moving,
Yep.
so
Let's go,
I don't think
Dawn.
I'm view bot. I mean, I'm not view botting, so
Thank you. Throwing shade.
let's go.
Well, I really don't like Seraphina. I really I can't, I'm not gonna say it on stream, but
I don't even know who that is.
she made a terrible video on what do you call it? On the Vtard. It was full of lies, and then promoted a gay charity, like literally like an LGBT charity at the end of the video, and I'm like, bro. And then she made another one on a girl where I met two of my mods, and that video is just false. Like she took it down because it was just straight up misinformation. I can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm going to defend a transgender because he didn't do what she said he did. You don't do what?
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're lying, I mean,
Anyway,
it's not necessarily defending a trans person, it's just defending the truth.
yeah, it's I don't know. Don't like her. Let's see, 2K viewers, 4 people
Mm.
typing. Seen sometimes on Kick or on no on Rumble. Yeah, yeah. Seriously.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I
There
look
should be a lot more people chatting.
I look at what do you call it? You look at your like you can check once you're in the creator program how many like people are there. And if you have, let's say we have 87 right now. It says I have 12 with verified accounts. That's what you want to see. You want about that percentage. If you have 16,000 with
Uh,
like what, 100, you have a problem.
yeah, right.
Rolf says get
And
accused.
and sometimes
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say sometimes like viewers will view bot for people like without even telling them. I've seen that happen on Twitter where like um people will pay for like fake likes and stuff like that for people that they don't even know just so that they can accuse them of faking it, right? So, but again, my numbers aren't crazy big like that to where you
Yeah.
know you could say it was view botting.
The most amount of viewers I guess I ever had was what, 697 on Twitch because I got rated, and then like 467 because I
Ooh,
was
nice.
rated on by Spartacus on Rumble. Spartacus is a very nice guy. He's a very good guy. He rated me. He actually is the reason I got
Nice.
Rumble Creator Program because of that raid. So meant a lot.
Oh, very cool.
Rum says get accused of view bots. Literally doesn't know how to view bot. Well, there you go. Easy.
Yeah, exactly.
X Bateman says quality, quantity, quality of content equal quantity over time. A queuing interest snowball. True. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, at times it's like I
Hmm.
don't even watch the numbers, because you're not your next stream is not always going to be your biggest one. So
Right.
I try not to care about the numbers that much.
You faced nope. Miku, you play a white supremacist character. Can you explain the distinction between your persona and real beliefs?
Uh, I guess I would say it's not quite white supremacist. It's more just like pro-white. Like I really don't have much interest in like saying white people are supreme or better than any other race. I just mostly believe that we need to stick together as white people, and it's basically just pro-white, not really anti anything else for the most part. Um, is kind of how I like to look at it.
You
Um,
wouldn't say only black people
and
deserve abortions because that, like Akemi said.
yeah, probably not. No.
I think abortions are just evil in general. I don't know why.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I'm just anti-abortion in general, so I don't care what race they are. That's just a barbaric practice.
Miko, you thanked your haters, quote, for boosting your viewership. Have you found any unexpected benefits from engaging or ignoring critics? How do you differentiate between constructive criticism and bad faith attacks?
Yeah, I mean, I do thank them sometimes. I mean, literally, the yesterday, Alpha and the Psyop like retweeted some of my stuff, and my follower counts has gone up from that, even though there's, a lot of people attacking me in the replies and stuff. Um,
That was
that's just kind of
the
how Twitter works.
that was the person with the gore art, right? The gore art with Akemi, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
correct. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like seeing
Yeah,
any
and
of
I
that
think she does a
nonsense.
lot of like lolicon porn stuff too, from what I've been
Uh,
shown. Yeah, she does like actual nude. She reposts actual like nude lolicon characters of herself, and
well, there's a difference.
it's just not good.
There's a difference between doing it for popularity and doing it because you like it. And I always say that. Or doing it because someone in your community has it. Like I believe there's an NSFW chat in my server for most like my mods. Like I don't go in there unless like an email sent to me. So I get sent a lot of
I
freaking
didn't even notice that.
I get sent a lot of hell of a boss porn because of my reactions, and I post it in there. That gets sent to me. But
Yeah, I've heard some people say that they have like NSFW channels just so people have a place to put it
yeah,
because people are gonna create that anyways.
well, I had
So
yeah, that's what happened because it was being posted everywhere, and I was like, okay, well, you're gonna get banned or you post it here. These are the new rules.
yeah,
But
that makes sense.
there's like if your persona was surrounding that, that's okay. It's the hypocrisy of Akemi that I don't like here because let's say Miko. Miko is a very sexualized VTuber, but she doesn't hide it. Akemi has a VTuber and
Uh,
considers herself a Christian woman. These are very different things,
well,
right?
yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, I mean, it really wasn't that long ago that she was like literally posting quotes from the Bible and stuff. And then, a few weeks later, she's doing gore art with Elf and Psyop, and it's like, come on. It's like, I mean, can't she not see where people would have a problem with that? I think that's obvious, right?
But she also put dildos
Um,
next to Bibles on her throne list. So
right. Yeah, I did see that, and it's like, I don't know what her deal is, to be honest.
she
I think
gets
for whatever reason, she's like gone off the deep.
she gets her own section in this interview. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Um, controversies. You lied about a voice changer days before the reveal. What was the moment you almost failed during a Vtard's VC? Which you sort of went over before. So let's just ask the
Uh,
first part of the question. Why? What's the answer that you've probably given in the past? Why did you lie?
yeah, I mean it was mostly just being committed to the bit, being committed to the character. I wanted the character to kind of stand on its own thing. I wanted it to like, not matter who was behind the scenes. I haven't I didn't think of this at the time, but I've seen like people do things where it's like multiple people have played a character, through across like a couple years or something. I thought, maybe that would be interesting. Who knows? One day I could find a female to actually play Miku. But you know, I just wanted to get things going and start creating content. So yeah, it wasn't anything malicious. It was just to create a character. I had no intention of like tricking people or whatever, or like catfishing people. I just really wanted it to not matter who was behind the character. Because yeah, I think it's a fiction cartoon. Anime girls aren't real. Even
Unless you
if
tell
there's a
that to a
girl
weeaboo.
behind it. Yeah. Maybe they'll be real one day with robots and stuff like that, but
Uh,
maybe Elon Musk will create the cat girl armies and whatever. I don't know.
the r/VTuber drama post, quote, Nazi cores just assembled, mocked the group. What's the one Nazi bar dynamic in the VTards you see as the biggest red flag that was there? What brought their attention?
What brought their attention? I mean, it was pretty much me. I
Mm-hmm.
took all the heat for that whole thing. I
And
mean,
and did you handle it
Nines
well?
is not a Nazi. Saturn's have Nazi. Kimi, she's pretty similar to Belize. Did I handle it well? It was rough. I definitely did not want to bring heat to the other girls like that. Like, it was not in my intention at all. Like, literally, I just wanted some people to like collab with and play video games and make fun content even outside of politics. Um, so yeah, it was really disheartening to see people like go after the other girls. They really did not deserve any of that at all. Like, sure, if you want to attack me for like political beliefs or whatever, I think that's fine. We can go at it, but you know, just the whole guilt by association thing is just unbelievably ridiculous. And they just went nuts with it. So I did not like seeing that, and that was pretty rough for me.
Lol Discord. That was Nines texting me.
Oh yeah.
I have because of how we're doing this, I have to leave streamer mode off. So, unfortunately, Discord alert sounds get added. Nothing I can do about that at the moment.
Okay. As long as it's not the Halloween Discord sound,
No,
that sound
those
was
were
terrible.
terrible.
I hated it.
The quote Nazi Miku being Jewish meme exploded on X. What was the funniest one you saw? Thank you for the follow, Major R Yang. All right, funniest meme of you being Jewish.
I don't really know what the funniest meme is. I mean, the funniest one is probably, I think somebody generated me with like the whole Jewish garb, where I had like the braided thing and I'm wearing the stupid hat. That could be kind of. I actually think they made my nose larger too, but I guess that could be funny. I mean, I just look at them like, okay, whatever, but I really don't care about it because I know it's not true, so it doesn't really matter. And actually, it kind of helps to promote my sort of message of, issues with Jews. So I made this comment, I think the other night, which is like, if it gets people to be more in line with that message, it really doesn't bother me. It's like, it's kind of working, actually.
Bam.
Unironically, unintentionally.
Sorry about the AI mod. Can't do anything about that on Kick. There's no reason for that chat to be banned.
Yeah, Kick is not very good with that AI mod.
You called the VTuber community, again, this is a quote, spineless pussies for not calling out entitlement. What's one incident to you?
I don't feel like I've actually said that, but like it's very rare that I'll call out like the whole Vtard community in general,
Okay.
like and call them a name. I might say that they're not. I don't know. They're not like as tough as they should be, maybe. But I can't say I've ever called them spineless pussies. I think that's a little much for me. But what was the rest of the question?
For not calling out entitlement. We're just gonna leave it at that.
I don't know. Actually, I'm.
Nine's late to the party.
I don't exactly know.
Okay, we'll move on. Another one on the pedo cartoons rant with child rape. How did you land in the Vtard's chat, and what's your take on the now exposed one? I'm referring to the one that we talked about during the interviews, the main one with Shiro leaving here.
Oh, like the whole fallout I had with Shiro.
Yeah,
and
but
she eventually left. That whole situation.
Yeah, but that's a separate question. I'm just talking about the child rape art you're referring to. Give me your thoughts on that. What did you and your opinion with the others think?
The others, I mean, Saturday Nines really didn't chime in, and Akemi really didn't chime in on the issue. I don't think. Actually, she probably said one or two things, like agreeing with me, sort of. But for the most part, Akemi just went at Shiro for other issues. But yeah, it wasn't like a huge chat about it. I just said, hey, I don't like this. I want to stay away from it.
Okay.
Personally, I didn't really tell the others like they had to really do anything. I just said, me personally, I just don't want to be a part of this. But
Postdocs, fans called you Nazi Miku forever. That was a quote. That was a reply from someone else. What's one supporter message that made you laugh?
I mean, it has to be whenever anybody does the whole Hail Miku thing. I mean, those are
pretty
always
funny.
hilarious to me. You know, even when we had the voice chats and I popped in, everyone was just like, "Hail Miku," and that was hilarious to me.
The quote, yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Bleep Bloop 96, how's it going? Posts, no. The Nazi Miku being a Jewish guy, quote, X post, with 226 likes, which I found. What is one thing you would want to say to those people?
I mean, basically, that the whole Jew thing is not true. Yeah, I did a DNA test. It's out there. So, I don't know, it just kind of makes you look dumb, I think. But it makes the person who's, you know, saying that kind of dumb. But, you know, it's popular to hate on Miku. So,
I
you
think,
know,
okay.
it is what it is.
28 has your America for whites only quote line got 602 likes. I think this is from your old ex, not your new one, by the way. What do you think the races are pushing us out? Because I literally have the likes on the post listed here.
Yeah. Do I think other races are pushing us out? I mean,
yeah, that's
I think so. I mean, like I said, with like, you know, illegals coming in through the border, I mean, the whole purpose of that and the reason why they allow that is to get them to vote, to change our laws, to you know, change America into something we don't want it to be. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I don't think people
so
really
in that
know.
regards, I would say so.
I don't think people really know how bad communism is. I have a streamer in my Discord.
Oh yeah.
His name is Neo. That's not what he uses on Twitch. I'm not gonna, you know, say what he uses on Twitch. But he is a communist streamer. Like, he talks about communism and how great it is.
Shit.
And I just can't fathom it.
That's pretty dumb.
I've talked to other.
Yeah, I mean, most people that subscribe to like the communism stuff, I mean, they basically have this fantasy idea that like as soon as communism comes around, they'll just be able to be painters and they'll be able to do creative stuff that they wanted to do. They won't have to work. But the reality is they'll be in the ditch digging the holes. You know, they don't get to choose their job. Communism chooses for you.
Like, have you ever saw Dr. Zhivago?
I don't think so.
You should watch it. The CIA released the book during the SSR when they became communist because they had to sneak the book out of Russia, and they made it into like a 6-hour movie, I think, and it talks all about his problems with communism. Highly recommend. It's a true story. Like, it's genuinely what happened to Dr. Zhivago. I've talked to the other former Red Miku server members. They all miss the voice chats. Yeah, I know, they were awesome. People don't care about the facts if their server serves their interests and puts a narrative about their political opponents. True.
Yeah, it's, you know, the Miku server was a lot of fun. I mean, everyone who left the Miku server, you know, before they left, they said, I've made real friends here that I'll, you know, have memories that I'll remember forever. But I gotta go. And it's like, well, you know, it was a fun time. I don't see any reason why that can't happen again.
Let's see here. Isn't communism built of workers? Why would they get a break? Lol, it's literally in the theory workers, so how would you not be a worker? Geeky's right there. Mary says, yeah, my family left Russia because of communism. It was horrific, and communism just sucks. Lots of wars down by the communist government. Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. I mean, look at... China's a little bit different because they got a mixture. It still sucks, but they have a mixture of capitalism and communism. But just them, you can't say anything against the government still.
They'll
go ahead.
They'll do basically what ICE is doing to illegals. They'll just pick you up in a van and take you away. I mean, I agree with what ICE is doing because those people are illegal, but communism would do that for just saying the wrong thing about the government. They
Right.
just disappear you. Yeah, I mean, you ask anybody who's escaped communism or actually lived under communism, and they will tell you how horrible it is.
Straight from the horse's mouth.
You know, people.
Ask anyone who lived in Cuba or Russia or any of these countries. Naive university students think it's a good idea. It ain't. No, for sure. For sure. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, all those communists should go to a communist country and see how it actually is.
Furry kittens. Oh, by the way, this
before
is
they say they like it.
Furry kittens. This is Satter's fiance. Great guy. Great guy. We talked about quantum computing. He's actually a really smart man. Communism is a hellish trap
Very cool.
For a society to try to escape once it gets going. Yeah. Pyromancer says,
correct, yeah.
Smile for the
Very
AI
true.
cameras of your social credit score will go down. Dude, I'm pissed. Blue Sky takes the last 4 digits of your social just to talk to someone. And Kick takes your ID. And did you know Kick asks you if they can save it now? Like, keep it?
Keep your ID?
Yeah, they ask you when you go for payments. If you don't say no, they ask you if they can keep your ID.
That's crazy.
So just, if you ever go to get payments from Kick, make sure to say, no, you can't keep it. Really? Yeah.
Yeah. I will keep that in mind. Huh.
Mary said, the USSR Major, I'll just call you Major. In the USSR, get arrested for nothing, and a lot of times it isn't normal for everyone to be arrested at least once. Yeah, exactly. It's normal, yeah. Though you can't keep it anyway. I think that's nuts. It is nuts. It is nuts. Kick really wants to step on us. Yeah.
They do.
Okay, well, you made it through page 2. It's only been an hour. Congratulations.
Very nice. Very nice.
Your January 6th emission post-docs. What's the one Stop the Steal chant or fan mail that you've enjoyed?
I wouldn't say I get fan mail, but every now and then I get people who are like, "Wow, that's awesome." You know, I do like hearing that. I mean that you know there are people who support me because there's a lot of people who do not. But yeah.
I get emails all the time with fan mail. Like I don't know how you get them, but people send me emails because I don't know if you noticed, I don't really use Twitter often. I'm not a Twitter savvy person. So most of the time I just stream for like 16 hours and people just message me like with an email if they ever want to contact me. That's the thing.
Yeah, I mean mostly it's on Discord or Twitter, yeah. Just people who generally support. It's nice to see.
There was a Nazi Miku meme on Pixie V with 95,000 likes. What's the one fan art that captured your persona?
Really, 95,000 likes?
I mean, that's
of my character.
I mean, apparently, Nazi Miku meme on Pixie V with 95,000 likes. That's what it says.
Wow, that's cool. I don't know about that. But what was the rest of the question?
What is one fan art that really captured your persona?
I mean, I really like the art that people have done that's like actually hand-drawn art. Not just AI, but some of the AI stuff is really great as well. But yeah, I do really enjoy when people do like actual art of Miku.
My V-Cries, the VTuber, does all of my art. Like, if it needs to be hand-drawn, she does it all. Otherwise, BM does my art, and we programmed ourselves. It's not any program. AI that makes the art, and then he edits all the art by hand from there. Tends to work out pretty well.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think artists should definitely use AI as a tool.
Although a lot of
versus just like ignoring it.
A lot of Blue Sky members hate that I made my own AI art machine. They get mad.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, every now and then I'll still have people that say like, "Do you use AI? Do like, yeah, welcome to the future, buddy. Everyone uses fucking AI. It's everywhere. You better get used to it."
Future plans and reflections. Do we have FOC focus questions? What does FOC stand for?
God of Christ?
Oh,
What
follower of
about him?
Christ. No, follower of Christ does not have a question on this list. It was removed.
No, it was.
Yeah, it's not there. Can I use your name? Because this question has a quote of your real name in it.
Shoot.
Okay. Postdocs Kenneth again. What's the one VTuber lesson from Miku you would apply to the ongoing persona?
Oh, so 1v2. Oh, well, I mean, obvious. I think the obvious lesson is that, yeah, people really care about who is behind the character. So, I would definitely be honest about that from the get-go. Um, yeah, that's probably the biggest lesson.
Okay. What's one Vtard's memory you'd keep if rewriting history?
I mean, pretty much all the memories of like all of us just hanging out and gaming and doing streams. I mean, the whole thing was a ton of fun. I've often said that, like, the worst part about all of it was all external. Like, it was all from other people, going nuts and whatever. Like, between all of us, I mean, things were pretty chill and a lot of fun. Like, yeah, I definitely enjoyed the fun we did have,
Mm-hmm.
even if very brief, but, it was a
Well,
good time.
you for sure have haters because I wrote to Nara for the original VTard interview I was gonna do, and she blocked me on both Twitter and Blue Sky after I compared her to Hassan in DMs
Go
because of it.
figure.
She was mad to be compared to Hassan, or oh, I'm sorry, he was mad. My bad.
Mm. Well, yeah.
Um,
Hassan is not great, so.
the RVTuber drama quote neo-Nazi just admitted post has 780 votes. What's one word of response to the title from the radical liberals on Reddit?
I'm not familiar with that. Just admitted what? Was that like the whole male thing?
Yeah, it's admitted like this is referring to your stream where you didn't use a voice changer.
I mean, that is what it is. I mean, like, um, it all came out and I basically just, was honest about it. Um, yeah, I don't really know much else to say about it.
Okay.
Yeah, that happened.
What's one Fuentes clip you could question him on if you could?
I have to be one of his clips where he's talking about like the age of consent. That's something that I've had issues with him in the past. Is where, either joking or, sometimes it's hard to tell if he's quite joking about that stuff. And I don't actually know if he wants to lower the age of consent, but he's made jokes around that. And I would question him and try to get to the bottom of what his actual position is on that. Because I don't believe in lowering the age of consent. I don't even understand why that's like
A thing.
an issue we want to talk about today. Like, there's really nothing to gain from that.
Well,
Like, just leave it alone.
Bateman
It's
said
fine where it is.
it's ironic that the liberals would take issue with that. The fact they, in the same breath, would defend trans people using a VTuber avatars to make pornography.
Yeah, that's something even with the recent controversy I had. As people are, saying I'm a man or I'm mature or whatever, and they have gay and trans flags in their bios. So it's just very ironic that they would be the ones to have an issue with that. Um, so I mean, it's just I find it funny.
Looking ahead, what is one quote mask you drop first in a tell-all stream about the Vtard? So something you would just be completely open and be like, "This is what happened."
Um, I mean, I really don't have anything that I'm putting behind a mask really anymore, at least.
Okay.
I mean, the biggest thing was, yeah, who I was in real life. But other than that, I can't say that anything really else is behind like a mask.
Major
I mean,
says, "I
I'm
think
trying to be as honest as possible with what I believe and stuff.
Major says I think they are deflecting their self-hate." I think so too. Um,
Probably, yeah.
Mods claim Akemi grifted hard toward you for your fast growth. Nines, I guess backs it. That's what I said here. Saying she got silent in V or emo in silent quote in VCs when attention shifted. IG the questions from the interview with Nines. Aura jealousy thick. She lost 1K views, 10 to 9K, while you were 9 surge. Did that spark any fallout? So was there any sort of jealousy from Akemi?
I've heard that apparently that was the case. I can honestly say I didn't quite feel that. Maybe I just didn't care. Um, but from what I've heard is that, yeah, I guess Akimi was jealous of the attention I was getting or something. Um, I mean, when she started losing followers, when she dipped to 9K, we were talking, it's like, the people you don't want are unfollowing you, and the people that do will find you anyways, and, you'll bounce back. Um, and she
Not
did end
now.
up bouncing back, so. Well, not anymore. Yeah, I mean, was it her main account was banned, her second account was banned, and now she's on a third, I think. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't really know. I didn't quite see that she was jealous towards me, but that's what I've heard. And I guess Nines, she was jealous towards Nines too. Nine just keeps growing. She just keeps going. It's been unstoppable. So, you know, I don't know. I don't get jealous or anything like that. I'm the type of person where it's like, if one of us makes it, we all make it, if we all come up together, so we work as one thing. If one of us is popping off, awesome. I really don't harbor jealous feelings between my
Well,
friends.
envy is a sin in the first place. So good.
That's true. Yeah.
All right. Vtard's era. We're officially gonna talk about. These are all related.
Okay.
Miku, the Vtards kicked off after Akemi's panic tech. What was the first DM she was sent? You pitching the extremist group, and how did you read the invite she sent you? So did now a lot of people said that you were invited and no one knew about you until she invited you like after it was a surprise to everyone. How did that go? Like how did she get you into the group?
Well, the way it happened, I literally just saw her tweet about she wanted to put together a couple people to do something and made like I think like a Google form or something to apply. And I just did that. And I honestly never thought it was going to happen. When I started doing this, I always knew that, I'm not going to get sponsors. I'm not going to be able to collab with other people. But I thought I'd just try it and see what happens because she, most of her posts were kind of on the same page as mine. So I thought maybe it'd be interesting. And that she just DM'd me one day and she's like, "Hey, do you want to be part of it?" And I said yes. And then I think she said, "Cool, I'll invite you to the Discord." And then I was in the Discord, and I think yeah, when I popped in the Discord, that's when the other girls, became aware of me. I don't think they knew
So it was
me
a surprise
on
altogether.
Twitter before that. I would say so, yeah. I don't know if it. Well, I'm assuming she did not tell them beforehand who she wanted to bring on. But that's what I initially thought, is that, they had a conversation about it and were like, "Yeah, let's bring in this person." That's what I would have done, but it wasn't my group.
The group was anti-LGBT as a sin. Now, if you go to Nines' interview, she doesn't hold the same beliefs fully. Just want to make sure. But that's what the group was labeled as. What was the first private joke about trans kids? Did you ever talk about it in general?
I don't think I ever joked about trans kids. I think maybe the only thing I've said about trans kids was like when I was doing Saturn and I did a stream, going over all the transgender surgery stuff, and I think we probably talked about that in that stream. But I've never made a joke about that. I think it's horrible what
it is terrible. Saturn
they go through.
Once gave me a great picture of a transgender penis. Never in my life did I ever need to see it.
Oh, yeah.
Never.
Yeah. It's terrible to look at, but people need to be aware if that's what these fucking doctors are out here doing to children, too. It's horrible. Fucking creating Frankenstein people.
Yeah. You all use the word, quote, retard and obese, by the way. The reason I say obese, I have no idea, but it offended one of the people I DM'd. So we have it here in quotations. Like the pronunciation, what's the one line you believe that went too far that actually made you pause? Anything that you think went too far?
I don't think so. I mean, yeah, I call people retards and fat people. I don't think it went too far. I mean, I think it's accurate. If someone's fat, they're fat, and it kind of is what it is.
They're obese. It's a medical term.
I call people retards. Yeah, I mean, maybe if I ever said something to someone that didn't deserve it, I don't think I have, though.
No, I don't.
It's very rare that I'll go off and just call someone all types of names. I use retard a lot.
The fact that people are saying obese is
and
a slur,
I don't really regret it,
is equal to the N-word is something crazy word. Yeah, when I wrote to the person for this, they actually censored the word retard and censored the word obese in the text messages.
Wow. Jeez, I can't call people obese. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Pro AR art was a staple of the group. Do you have anything to say to those who despise it? I asked every member this question.
I think I don't know if I would say it's staple. It definitely was for me, but I think when I came into the picture is when people that were creating AI art for me started creating AI art for the other girls and stuff like that. I don't think they were doing that on their own before we all kind of came together. It was probably mostly my community that kind of made it a staple for them. But yeah, I'm generally pro AI art, but I'm also pro regular art. I think for those people who despise it, I mean, I can sort of understand why. Like, if they're stealing art without people's permission to generate models, yeah, that's not good. But even if they didn't do that, AI is still coming. It's still going to, be a huge thing. I think, you know, if you're just saying, I'm never going to use it, you're going to get stuck and left behind. That's like, that's like somebody who used to use pen and paper to create art, like being against Photoshop when it first came out. Um, you know, you're going to have to use it in some way. So I think you should at least learn how to use it. And, you can. A lot of the soul in AI art comes from the combination of doing real art with AI art. You gotta inject some kind of soul into it, which is, you can use both tools to create art. So I think, if you don't get used to it, you're just gonna get destroyed by it. There's really nothing you can do to stop it at this point.
Would you have told everyone up front you were a guy if you could redo it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, hands down,
Hands down.
definitely would have been, yeah, I mean, yeah, in a heartbeat, for sure.
All right, that's the end of page 3.
All right, let's go.
Shiro left
Do we have a
July.
lot of pages?
Um. You only have 5 more.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, it's all right. You're making your way through. It's all right.
Yeah, I don't mind a lot of pages.
Shiro left the 15th or 16th of July over Lolicon and the Miku model drama. That's what we call it. What's your stance in the VC, and did you push or hinder the removal?
I don't think we actually had a VC about that.
So you didn't have one. Okay.
No, it
So
was all
was there
just
any
text, and I
DMs?
think pretty
No.
much all that was said, like, was the stuff that came out.
Mm-hmm.
Like the screenshots they took. There
Right.
might have been more stuff where Kimi was like going at Shiro for like
Well, I would.
everything else, but all that was like completely unrelated. That was just like her beef with Shiro for whatever reason. Um,
No.
but
From. Go ahead.
but no, I mean, I think I said to Akimi once that I think Shiro was possibly too young for the type of group Akimi wanted to put together. Something more political that can kind of
At the same age. Pretty sure.
take the heat and withstand it. You know, um, I think she's probably on the young side and just wants to do her thing, kind of blending in sort of with the crowd, maybe not going too hard against the grain. Um, so I thought the group might have been a little too rough for her. I think that's the most I said about that.
So you didn't
But I
push
did
for her
actually,
removal or hinder it. Like you didn't like if she decided to stay, you would have been fine with that.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I don't think I ever said like, hey, we should kick Shiro out. No. I actually did offer to step away from the Vtards, um, myself before she left. Um, and and nobody said that they wanted that. Um, but I did make that offer that I could step away from the Vtards before Shiro left.
Kitten says, I think that maybe the art sphere specifically is not going to adapt or die just because of how much people hate AI. But broadly, for people with office jobs, I agree you have to adapt to ARA or be left behind.
Yeah, I mean, mean, there's always going to be hand-drawn art, but I think it's kind of gonna go the way of like the horse and the car, right? We still have horses. It's just everyone's driving cars. But yeah, for like the tech sector and the business world, yeah, AI is just straight up taking over. Like writing full documents, programming things. You cannot not use it. You will get left behind.
Now, Nines does not remember this, and every single person I've ever reached out to on Blue Sky, and some VTubers I've reached out on Twitter, says Nine called out Nara for trans propaganda. What defense did you play in the backlash? Do you remember anything about that? Because it's like the only thing they ever bring up. Oh, the Vtards and Nine said something about Nara's trans. That's what they know from it. So is there anything you remember?
Barely. I'm sure I defended what the other girls were saying. I can't remember anything specifically, but I would not doubt I was right there.
Okay. X-Man says they argued that the camera would replace artists before. True. All right, we have 2 questions on Akemi's recent drama. Akemi called Saturn and Nine, quote, not good people. What's your take on this quote?
Yeah, hear about that. I think that's utterly ridiculous. Saturn and Nine are incredibly nice. I mean, yeah, I just think it's ridiculous. I actually don't even know exactly why she's saying that about those two. To my knowledge,
did you not watch
there's
the previous
other
interview?
stuff going on between them. Yeah, I guess. But even what they said doesn't seem that bad enough for me to say that they're not good people.
Well, I would agree. And no, I think they're great people. Pretty good friends.
Yeah.
Even. If either of them ever messaged me for help, I would do anything. Let's see here. Saturn clarified she promoted Akemi with raids and bought her merch, but called, quote, disingenuous. What's the one time you did something for Akemi that she never appreciated?
So I don't think that's fair of her to do that to Saturn. I don't really know if there's something she did for me that, or something I did for her that she didn't appreciate.
Okay.
I can't say anything specifically. But yeah, I think that's unfair to Saturn, for sure.
Alright, well that's the Vtards and Akemi. We're moving on to spicier topics now.
Oh boy.
Politics and ideology. And now these
yes.
are all direct quotes from you. Like I quote you a lot, but these are quotes. I'm going to read you the quote, and then I'm going to ask you questions based on that quote. All right?
All right.
You said, I don't know. If we nowadays know exactly what a Nazi is, I, holding right-leaning opinions that are maybe towards the far right, towards the National Socialist ideology. Okay? You say you're not a true Nazi because the party doesn't exist, but admit to holding National Socialist ideology. What specific Nazi policies do you agree with today?
Yeah, and whenever people ask me that question now, I think I'm going to respond with the question of what does a true Nazi mean to them?
Okay.
Because I actually that was kind of my point is that what do people mean when they say a true Nazi? Like, you know, it's hard to describe what that actually is, but um what specific policies do I agree with? I mean, I agree with you know, like the idea of the nuclear family type stuff. I believe in race politics, identity politics. Some of them could say like, the environmental stuff. I mean, I do believe in the environment. I want a nice environment. You know, I believe in like nuclear energy instead of all this solar energy crap. I don't know if it's necessarily socialist idea, but the idea of, you know, keeping the environment nice isn't technically, a right wing opinion. Um, but like we should definitely punish companies that are fucking dumping chemicals in the rivers and shit. Like, I'm not that crazy where I'm saying, hey, let the companies do whatever they want. No, you gotta rein in those companies. Um, so yeah, I do believe in like workers' rights and things like that. Like, I do believe in unions and stuff. You know, I try to like adopt certain beliefs to like today's standards, right? Um, and I definitely kind of believe in a blended theory of like capitalism and socialism. Because I believe we have that today, like socialism things you could say like is the police department, the roads, the bridges, stuff
SNAP.
like that.
SNAP benefits.
And capitalism, yeah, which you could say is kind of like China. Um, but I definitely don't want something as extreme as China.
Right.
But yeah, so I find certain parts of things that I align with across different types of the political spectrum, at least on the right, I think, for the most part. But yeah, the definition of what a real Nazi is, yeah, I need people to tell me what they mean by that.
You said you agree with Nazis on, quote, basically everything except killing people. What exactly do you disagree with them besides genocide?
Cool. Maybe some of like the eugenics experiments probably not good, but I think that might fall in line with genocide because I believe they killed people to do experiments on them. But a lot of that stuff I also don't believe. Like, some people will say that they killed Jews and turned them into lampshades. I don't believe that's true. Um, but if that were true, I probably wouldn't agree with doing that. Um, but yeah.
Do you still stand by, quote, RKD for NJF? Do you know what that is, or do I have to say it here?
We probably don't want to say it,
Okay.
but R
Acronym in your old
kill
bio. If,
die.
yep. Yeah, that's it. Acronym in your old bio. If not, when and why did you disavow it?
I still fuck with it. You know, I don't take that quite literally. I think it's more or less like a joke, but also semi-serious, and it in the sense that it basically just is a way to say, "Hey, you're loyal to Nick." Um, which I mean, if Nick did something like totally horrendous, yeah, I probably would not be loyal. Like if he started killing people or something like that. Um, but it's just a way to say like, "Hey, you're loyal to Nick." And yeah, I still agree with that. I think it's funny. I thought the whole bit was hilarious. I mean, nobody is out here literally raping, killing, and dying for Nick.
All right. On character versus reality. Quote, politically, it's virtually the same. There really isn't much difference. and to say this, it is between me and Miku. If the character and your real views are,
Yeah.
quote, virtually the same, why hide between the female avatar at all? Why did you disguise... Wait, what did the disguise protect you from saying as Kenneth?
Really didn't protect me from saying really anything. And yeah, I wouldn't quite say the intention was to like hide. The intention was to create a character that could kind of stand on its own thing. I mean, that was part of the thing with Miku as well, is like Hatsune Miku doesn't actually exist. Like Hatsune Miku isn't a real person. So that's kind of what I was going for, is that, Miku wouldn't necessarily be a real person. It would just be like this its own thing. But yeah.
On character versus reality. Oh, yep. You compared VTubing to, quote, writing a book or, quote, playing a character. But if politics are real, which you said they were, isn't this just cosplaying extremism for clout?
I wouldn't say for clout.
Okay.
But maybe, I mean, it's definitely to like push an agenda, or, to provide a space for people who hold similar beliefs. But yeah, I'm not really worried that much about clout. I think part of that is kind of the game of like, yeah, just being a streamer. Yeah, you gotta get your name out there and get people to see your stuff. But I wouldn't quite say that's for clout exactly.
Xpan says VTuber avatar is a reflection of the person in its own way, value wise, with obvious discrepancies because it's just playing a character, really. All right, we're moving on to lying and trust.
Yeah.
Made it through page 4. To quote you,
Yeah.
I definitely regret not telling people up front. I should have told people who I was actually behind the character. You lied about your gender for weeks, then claimed
Yeah.
Kenneth was your brother. Why should anyone trust anything you say now?
Well, I mean, there's really nothing left, to hide. Everything is all out there, and like, I don't really see any purpose in trying to lie about things. That's why you know, I did the brother thing. Um, yeah, not a good idea. That didn't really last very long. But, since then, I've just been totally upfront with it. There's really nothing else to lie about. So, you know, yeah.
Fans say they're not mad at you. Mad you're a man. They're mad you lied. What is one thing you could say to them now? Former mods are watching.
Well, yeah, I definitely did make a mistake for sure, and I own up to that. And I apologize for that. Like I said, it was not my intention to like mislead people to, I've said this before, which is like none of our interactions were like sexual or anything like that. It wasn't my intention to, try to coerce people into something weird. It was just to make friends, and I think, we were pretty cordial with our conversations. But I understand that they're mad, and I get that. A lot of them are Christians, so I think, if you do believe in the concept of forgiveness and redemption, maybe you could give me a chance at some point. And I think, to hold a lot of hate in your heart is not good and not healthy. So, I think at some point you kind of have to, move past it. But, you know, yeah, pretty much it. And I don't think it was where there will quite be like a coming together, like a kumbaya. I mean, there's definitely going to be people that hate me forever now, which it is what it is. And if that's the way you take it, then that's what it is. Yeah, I regret that it went down that way. If I could do things differently, I totally would. Um, yeah.
On future and reboot. Quote. Oh wait. I skipped a section. Let me go back. On January 6th and consequences. My face is on the news. Was on the news. I turned myself in. Nothing happened. From that. You were pardoned on January 2025. Is that correct?
I believe so, yeah.
Do you think January 6th was a legitimate political discourse, or do you regret going inside the Capitol?
Uh, there were parts of it that were legitimate for sure. I mean, a lot of people were there to protest, but I definitely think there were instigators, and it's coming out more and more that, a lot of them were agents that wanted people to break, laws and stuff like that. I mean, it just came out yesterday, I think, that reportedly one of the person who did the pipe bomb thing the day before January 6th was a cop, was a female cop, and now works for the CIA. So, you know, I think more of that is just going to keep coming out. And yeah, I definitely believe it was a setup for sure. I think that was the part, like after I went into the building, we walked around for a certain point, but eventually we got to a room where there was a line of police officers, and behind all the police officers were a ton of cameras taking pictures of all of us. So at that moment, I realized like they wanted us in this situation to get all these photos. So it felt like a setup in that moment, and after that, that was when I like got out of there and was like, I don't. This was a bad move, but um, I don't necessarily regret going inside. Um, but
You agreed
um,
with the principle of it, just not how they made it a setup.
right, right, yeah, I agree with protesting, and I regret that it went too far. Maybe.
You said radical leftists wanted to, quote, attack you after January 6th, but nothing happened from this doxing either. Are you exaggerating the threats to play victim?
Oh no, the threats online were very real. I mean, this is
Yeah.
just posts with thousands of likes and hundreds of replies saying like this guy needs to be put away forever. Lock him up. And there were very extreme ones that say that they wanted to kill me and stuff like that. Not for Miku, but for January 6th. So no, I'm not exaggerating to play the victim. I mean, I'm thankful that nothing has happened IRL, but that's not like a brag or something. Like that's just
Kitten asks,
that's just luck.
what did they do to you and the rest of the folks there that day was just horrendously awful. What they did to you. Yeah, I mean, I would agree. It sounds really bad and undeserved.
Yeah. I mean, they hunted people down and like swatted their houses just for walking around, not even causing any damage or anything like that. Um yeah, it was ridiculous.
Have you lost your job as a software engineer since this blew up? If not, how are you explaining the quote Nazi VTuber to your employer then or your employer now?
Laid off, but it wasn't because of Miku or January 6th. the company just got acquired, and it was way too big of a company anyway, so they just downsized. But yeah, it had nothing to do with Miku or January 6th.
Okay.
And I really haven't had to explain it to anybody yet, so I'm not sure.
On the future and reboot, quote, I still have fun with the character. Some of those people may come back around eventually. You want to, quote, reboot Miku. Will the new version still use all the dog whistles, slurs, Nick Fuentes plays, and edgy, or is the edgy era over? This is more for the audience, not for me.
Yeah, mostly still remains the same. The biggest difference is, just knowledge of who's behind the character now. But yeah, everything else mostly stays the same.
If your core fans only liked you because they thought you were a real far-right anime girl, what's left for them to come back to?
I think we still probably agree on the political messages and stuff like that. You know, I don't think the anime character was the whole part of it. But it's very possible we could do stuff that we did before. Those days were a lot of fun. I don't see why there's no reason we can't do that type of stuff again. So
on Lolicon / pedo allegations and server moderation team. A former mod says you defended an Argentinian pedophile named Gabriel, aka Kasan Teto, by making him a mod in your new server, which I don't think you did, until you two fought in Nides' server and kicked him. Was he really a pedo, and why did you give him power if you knew? Just remember, everything from mods is going to be quoting mods from 5 people, so there might be misinformation here.
Well, that person was a mod for a little while. That is true. I did not give them mod after knowing that. Yeah, at the time they had mod, I didn't know anything about them. The way I pick mods is like if somebody takes initiative to help the server in some way, like telling me if something bad was posted that needs to be removed, I usually see that as initiative that they want to help the server. And if they want to be mod, they asked, so I was like, sure. I literally didn't know a single thing about them. And at that particular time, I was in a tough spot. The whole mod team left. I was trying to rebuild a new server, so you just kind of pick people that help and hope they're cool. But I believe now, yes, but at that time, there was so much going on, and I had stopped reading Kiwi Farms. I had stopped keeping up with it because there's just so much shit. I just, and you just can't deal with it all the time. So I had stopped, but somebody else had told me that, they got doxxed. I tried looking at it, and I didn't really see quite any, total proof. A lot of it was in a different language, too. And the allegation is that they sent bad pictures to a 16-year-old. And, in the United States, in at least 32 different states, 16 is the age of consent. So, but then I looked it up eventually, and I eventually found out he is Argentinian, and in Argentina, 18 is the age of consent. So at that point, I kicked him. I didn't think that was good. But Yeah, a lot of it is just, you don't know exactly what everything is going on. And, you know, the when they were arguing with me in Nines' server, I was quite pissed off, to be honest. Because I didn't like seeing Nines' general chat get taken over just to attack me. So at that point, I was quite angry. So maybe I said something that I shouldn't have said, like, what happens outside of my server is none of my business. I mean, I do agree with that, but at the same time, pedophile stuff does cross that line, and I will kick and ban people for that type of action outside the server. I was more so just trying to defend um, my rules that I've created because, there's so much shit that goes on between people outside the community, and at the same time, that person, Tato, was lying to me as well. They sent me pictures of a person that wasn't them, saying it was them. Um, so, maybe I gave him the benefit of the doubt for too long. Because I've said this before, I hold the values of, innocent until proven guilty, and pedophile is a big accusation. Um, you know, so I wanted to see like some type of like actual police report or something like that. There still wasn't, but I did kick him before they started doing all that. So, yeah. Uh, it was a rough situation. You got everyone attacking you. you know, Sometimes you need to, you know, defend yourself in certain situations, but um yeah, I would agree with that. You presume innocence, yeah. And and like I said, he lied about things to me directly, so who do I believe? Kiwi Farms lied about stuff about me that wasn't true. I mean, he made things up that were convincing enough to lead me to believe that they got the wrong person, that wasn't the same person. Um, so, I had a rough time like figuring it all out. I'm not online all the time. I'm not looking at shit constantly, because that'll drain you to no end.
Yeah.
But I just did my best, and you know, if I ultimately end up kicking them, and I don't want pedophiles in my community. So, you know, that's kind of the story I think behind that for the most part. I don't have any mods right now.
Multiple X mods allegedly, because I'm quoting them, pushed to ban lolicons, but you ignored it because, and I quote this, you're a lolicon yourself. True question mark. Why let lolicons, and I quote this, let lolicons and fags overrun the server until it's split?
Yeah, no, I'm not a lolicon. And I definitely do not think lolicons and fags overran the server. I think it probably was actually the opposite. My server in particular was brutal. A lot of the mods were very, uh, very rough, very strict in our beliefs, and attacked people. Not like attacked, but, argued with people about things, and people got kicked. A lot of people got kicked. Um, so I don't quite think lolicons and fags overran the server. Um, you know, I'm sure there are some people in there, but I also don't go about doxing every single person, and that could be said the same for Tato as well. It's like I didn't dox Tato, like I knew nothing about him. Same thing for all my fans. I don't go around doxing every single fan that I have. And the mods were doing stuff like that. I know that they actually ran their own separate attack Discord, which I was in for a while, but eventually was kicked. I didn't pay attention to it at all, but they went after people. They went after, people who were in um, like a separate Matrix server
That's gonna
that
be a
I
question
guess
later.
were part of it. Oh, okay. Um, and in terms of ignoring it, in my server, I don't think it was ignored. There were people that were banned on my server, but that were allowed in the Vtard server. But for the most part, it was again trying to blend 4 different communities together, and I wanted to be nice to their communities as well. You know, yeah, it's not as black and white as just like this person's a fag and kick them. It's like there was so much shit going on. It was unreal. Like 10 different conversations about 10 different issues with a bunch of different people saying all types of shit. It's literally impossible to like figure it all out. So you just do the best you can, and yeah, it's not perfect.
Uh,
Discord is a hard thing to manage.
this is gonna be multiple questions. Did you ever post lolicon yourself? Mods say no, but you quote allowed it to happen and then defended them, end quote. Like that quote pedo bitch Sondo. I don't know who Sondo is. How do you define quote lolicon versus just anime art?
Never shared Lolicon stuff
Okay.
myself. Um, I may have, kept certain people around because I mean they may not have been like directly breaking the rules in the server. And again, I don't what they do outside the server doesn't quite concern me unless it's something very extreme. But I do think art is just art. I don't quite think it's illegal to do that. Um, do I like it? No, but did they go around like making it a big thing in the server? I don't believe they did. Um, and if they did, then the mods must have removed it before I saw it. But yeah, I mean, I just don't like the porn. So, um, I think that's pretty straightforward. It's just if it's porn, it's not okay.
According to the forum words, your old server was split, quote, actual Chads. And I want to put in parentheses here because multiple people said it, but in a different way. Good mods and quote lolicon slash fags. And this is someone who I'm quoting that isn't the other person I quoted, by the way. Why is your new one small and full of the latter? What's the deliberate purge of critics? So this former
I mean,
mod is spying on your new one.
I basically am rebuilding the server. I deleted the old one to start new. But no, it wasn't to purge critics. People in the server had debates about things from both sides. So if anything, I would say it's welcoming critics, to be honest. And you don't quite get to choose your fans, so, what they do outside the server is not too much of my concern. Like I said, if it's extreme cases, yeah. Um, but I don't really have like a belief that everyone has to be exactly the same. If there's some difference in opinions and beliefs, like I said, I kind of welcome that because then we can have those discussions and conversations, and people have definitely had that. It's some of those hard political conversations that I've seen happen in the server have led to people leaving the server because, they don't like the truth or whatever and they can't handle the heat. So, then I allow those conversations to happen, as long as it doesn't go too far into like, you know, attacking people super hard. Um, I think being a political server, you want to have those types. You want people to have those types of conversations. I would say.
63 on mod dynamics and decision making. A former mod claims chats were collaborative. You'd ask for advice on streams/servers, but you straight up ignored the team on banning lolicons. And was it, quote, your way or the highway? Or did you take group input seriously?
Yep, ignore them. Like I said, there were conversations I had with the other girls about people from their community. Sorry, Saturn, but there's one person in particular named Bissy Boo who I had banned from my server because I think they were part of that Matrix server. But Saturn wanted them unbanned, and I said, I told her, it's like, look, I don't like this person, but I respect her enough to say if she believes that they should be unbanned, I will do that, and I'll agree with you, and we'll do that. I left it up to her, and so there were people I wanted to ban for sure, but I was trying to play ball with everyone else. It's in my server for the most part. It was my way or the highway, but I definitely did not ignore banning lolicons.
Lies, identity, and the X Vtards. A former mod says you lied to the mods about being a real Nazi, a man, groper, and white, calling you, quote, a kike, Jewish. You denied Jewish heritage in your Fox Kembo interview, but did you mislead your team on any of this?
I mean, on the gender thing, sure, but I'm not a Jew, so I'm not a kike. So no, I didn't mislead them. That's just not true. I've tried to be as honest as I possibly can. I don't think I lied to them or anything else.
We have a lot of questions from the former mods. I do want to say that I remember the people that I talk to hate this man. So just keep that in mind when you listen to these questions, audience. I talk to people that are straight up enemies of this guy now.
They very much hate me. And they all claim to be Christian. It's like you're attacking a fellow Christian. Yeah, I made a mistake, but if you're a Christian, you also believe in forgiveness and redemption.
Did you ever badmouth the X Vtards like Akemi, Saturn, Nines behind their backs? After research, I found that Akemi had both dildos next to Bibles, gore/nudes, by the way, nudes over VTuber, I want to make that clear, no misinformation, and lying and editing about screenshots, which could have been her or one of her mods, but there was sent edited screenshots, which I think was Bitcoin. Does this surprise you in any way?
No, I never badmouthed any of the ex Vtards. If anything, I talk very highly of them. Except Akemi a little bit recently. Just because we had our drama, but I didn't talk about that with really anybody else, like behind their backs. It was all quite public. But I know she talks about me in her server.
Can you further elaborate
and stuff? So
your how do you say beef with Akemi separate from Nines and Saturn's beef?
She, after all the mods left my Discord and started hating me very strongly, they went into all their groups and, Akemi, I had warned Akemi about certain people that they're going to try to make their way into your mods and try to control things. She doesn't look like she listened to that, and she listened to their opinions and what they were saying. You know, the whole Jewish thing, not true. The whole, just being mad about me for the gender thing, which she didn't have a problem with. I mean, she had a problem with it initially, but we worked it out quite quickly. But now she's claiming it's, the crux of the whole thing, which, but, it's not. But,
So you're saying she's lying?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, she's just listening to the opinions of people who hate me, and and I think it's kind of funny actually, because not too long ago she did her post about saying she's a lolicon now, and those people who she took in from my community absolutely hate lolicons, and guess what happened? They turned on her and they started posting her docs and her replies and making memes about her being fat and stuff like that. So, what can you do? I'm like, those are the people I warned you about, and you listen to them, and you attack me because you listen to them, and now they're gonna attack you.
We're getting off
It
the
just
questions, but I do want to continue on this line of statement. Akemi released Shiro's docs multiple times underneath hers, saying "fat whore" or something similar to that. Which, I mean, Shiro, I know for a fact, weighs less than Akemi IRL. What's your opinion on the hypocrisy of Akemi leaking Shiro's docs?
yeah, I do think it's kind of disingenuous for her to do that, right? Like, I don't go around posting people's docs even if I don't like them. Um, people are using my docs as a weapon to attack me with, and I think that's wrong. But a lot of people will say that. It's like, oh, I'm so anti-docs, and then they're running around posting people's docs. I'm like, you know, so you just are full of shit or something. I don't know. Uh, yeah, I don't. I mean, even if she doesn't like Shiro, I don't think she should be posting her docs. I never did that. You know, I may have made a comment about it or joked about it, but not publicly.
Right.
And yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
I
So she
mean,
really has no room to complain if people are doing that to her. I mean, she's doing it to other people.
Akemi literally banned me. Well, on Thigh Lover's testimony, kicked me from her server just because I'm in Shiro's server. So they must really, I mean, she must really hate her. I don't know. So that's
That's what I understood. Like, we had our whole thing with the whole lolicon thing, but she went just off the rails with it. And I'm like, okay, maybe, she really doesn't like her. I don't know why she would invite her to the group if she doesn't like her this much. But, her and Shiro's thing, like, exploded well beyond just our disagreement about lolicons. Like, she went off on her, and I just didn't know what to say about it. I'm just like, okay, you know, they had something else going on beyond just what we did. So I don't know. Very strange to me.
um you've previously lied about your gender and voice. Did you ever lie directly to your mods or the other group members regarding your views or threats? Your former mods demanded receipts for your faggot ass deceptions. That's a quote. I didn't say that. That's a
Yeah,
quote.
well, I'm not gonna waste my time. But no, I never lied about my views and stuff like that. I don't know what they mean by threats. I haven't really threatened anybody, but yeah, that's a very weird question. Yeah, I don't have receipts, so I'm not gonna waste my time.
A broader server fallout in personal life. A mod swayed your server's collapse was your fault. Defending pedos, ignoring mods' lolicon tolerance. By the way, this is the reason a lot of these questions are similar is because they all came from different people that talked about the same thing. It's like a hive mind. How did it really go down, and why no recollection with, quote, good X mods like him?
They are. So I don't know if they're a good mod, but this question doesn't sound very good because it's just not true. I mean, you know, I have a feeling who this is, but because the defending pedo things didn't come up until the server was deleted and the new one came up, and they were attacking me in Nine's Discord. So I think I have a feeling who this is, but uh no, that's not why the server collapsed. People just left because of the gender thing. Um it was really not because of anything else. Um and if the server was that bad, then what the fuck were the mods doing? Because I have a feeling this is a mod.
Yeah, no,
What
no,
the
no.
fuck were you guys doing
It
all
is a
day?
mod. They all requested to be anonymous, but I have just a mod said. I think that's mod. That's anonymous enough. So.
Yeah, if it was such a terrible place, I guess you didn't do your fucking job then. So, but yeah, I don't believe that's true.
This one I'm a little concerned. What I don't really understand. Mod Civil War, Nozak slash Giga versus Kitten. Quote, femboy lolicon they hate now. Wretched slash Crayons feud over Saturn slash Akemi calling you doxers, calling Giga a doxer, and I think Bitcoin a doxer. Other Xmods accuse Nozak of lying to me personally in DMs, over the voice story, which we go over later. Why all the fractures? Did your lies poison the well, and did they ever fight like this originally? The mods hate each other too. Look at that.
Yeah. I mean, Nosek and Giga are definitely the worst ones. Kitten was actually really cool and, not a terrible person like Nosek and Giga. Like, yeah, they're doxers. I mean, they leak stuff to Kiwi, so, you know, um, I don't like them. Kitten's really never done anything that bad to me. Like, maybe he wasn't a great mod, like deleting stuff he shouldn't have. Okay, whatever. Um, but yeah, Nozak and Giga are really unhinged, like basically psychopaths. You know, were they like that before everything collapsed? Yeah, they were. They, they ran their own attack Discord and were definitely doxing people. Bitcoin was doxing people, but I didn't quite have much of a problem with it because some of the people that he did discover were actually really bad people, like posting actual child porn and stuff like that.
Yeah.
In a Matrix server, completely separate from us, but
Maverick says, I know
but
the question will be included in the stream before the stream even started. Yeah. Xpin says, they eat each other from what I see so far. Bit silly. Furry Kitten says, point of clarification, anyone confused in chat, this kitten is not me. No, no, no. Black Kitten is a former mod. They are different people. Yeah.
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 I don't know about the Wretch and Cran feud.
No. They were on a team because they call feud over Saturn, and it can be calling Giga Nozak, I believe doxers. Cran's actually a good, nice guy. I talked to him
it's
for a
already been
while.
proven.
Yeah. It's so.
Yeah, King Cran was
So Giga
the best one, I would say.
Actually denied that he was ever a doxer to me personally.
Well, that's funny because I've seen screenshots of him actually admitting of posting doxes, so he's just lying.
He's just lying.
Yeah.
Okay. There was also a quote of Nozak and Giga being IRL friends. Is that true or false?
Me, but I did not know that.
Okay.
But it would not surprise me. They behaved pretty much the same way.
On the Lolicon Ring and Matrix servers. And now you've made it through 2 pages left. You're going a lot quicker than the girls did. You don't talk as much. And you have more questions, too. This is very surprising.
Well, at the point, some of these are rather intense questions, so, you know, it takes me a little bit to think about certain things, but yeah, I you know, I just do my best.
A moderator reports that a full-scale, quote, lolicon ring operated in your previous server's DMs. Contacting the members about Matrix, which is a Discord alternative notorious for pedophile activity, if you don't know, anyone who does not know, because I did not know, so I wanted to add that. To identify fans of Lolicon. According to them, Bitcoin and Baelish infiltrated and banned 2 to 5 individuals. Why didn't you intervene or shut it down sooner?
It's true, they did ban people. But how, you know, in regards to like what's going on in the DMs, how am I supposed to know about that? Right? Like DMs are private conversations between people. Like how am I supposed to know what's going on in people's DMs?
Psychic.
So I think that's just ridiculous. Yeah, be psychic. I somehow have to just know everything.
Yeah, you gotta get sent screenshots. How dare you not ask for screenshots from everyone? Invade everyone's privacy.
Right. And it's like, you know, I was learning about this whole Matrix server thing as they were telling me about it, because that's what they were doing, Bitcoin and Baelish or whatever. You know, we're figuring that stuff out. I have no idea how they were doing that either. But
they went into the
yeah,
server and saw what and who was there.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Bitcoin's a very technical person, so he like saved like I guess the whole like he like exported the whole Discord or the whole Matrix server into like a file or something like that. I you know, I didn't look too much into it, but yeah, the Lolicon ring was not inside my Discord, you know, and like they said, they banned a bunch of people who were a part of it. But that was the Matrix server is separate from Discord, so it's pretty much the same thing as Discord, but it's federated, and you know, so you can't shut it down. So why didn't I shut it down? Because you can't shut it down. That's the point of Matrix. You know, we can just do our best to ban people who are, you know, being a part of that, and it sounds like they're admitting that we did do that. So why didn't I help shut it down faster? I mean, I was doing my best. I mean, you know, I depended on them for that, you know, that type of information, because I wasn't going around gathering that type of information. You know, I was hearing it from them. So, and yeah, I can't tell what people are doing in their DMs.
We'll talk about the betrayal of Bitcoin later. But apparently he was like the major doxer, like the guy that he was leaking all the info from. And yeah, we'll get to that. What?
We did discover he is actually Jewish, so.
Oh. 70 X mods push.
That wasn't until after.
Back hard on the lolicons. This is from another guy, by the way. But you wanted bans for quote full nudes or porn, and that's it. Even when they posted softcore, like almost naked anime girls. Was this your rule, and why was it tolerated the rest?
Free speech, and you know, I try to honor that as close as I can. You know, yeah, I mean, I did bans for porn. I don't think much like softcore porn or softcore stuff was posted that often. I mean, maybe there's an anime character in a bathing suit. You know, what's wrong with a bathing suit? There's nothing quite wrong about that. Um,
No,
you
no, I
know,
don't think so.
and we have people that, yeah, they like things on all different types of sides of stuff. It's like, you can only control people so much. And yeah, I did like a freer environment. Like, I think that's part of what made the server so fun, was that people could just kind of go semi nuts. Um, like, not even with just, posting anime stuff, but just saying shit in general, saying the N word, saying all kinds of stuff. I think that's what made it fun, was the freedom of it. And that's why I think many people said this. It was the first Discord server I ever run, but many people have said, it was the best. It was the best server they had ever been a part of.
Yeah, Cougar,
Ever been a part of.
Cougar, you did miss a lot. We're on question 71 of like 83. So you can watch the interview later, Cougs. It's okay. A mod claims the server, quote, went to shit with lolicons and gays by Doc's time, splitting into Chads versus Degenerate. By the way, this is a different person who said Chads. Blaming your laxations in rules. Why is your new server, quote, only lolicons and fags per your rule set? Is this a purge or self-selection?
Yeah,
I'm
that's just
laughing
bullshit.
just reading it myself. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's just bullshit. I mean, there's people on all sides. Maybe there's a little bit more on one side currently, but you know, like I said, you don't get to pick your fans. You know, I still am a little baffled by some people that choose to support me. Like, they obviously do not agree with the things I say, so I'm not exactly sure why they're fans, but they are. And as long as they're not, you know, breaking the rules, I don't have a problem with people being in the community. Um, and why is it so small? I mean, just look at, a lot of people hate me, especially from the old community. So, you got to start over. And we're doing it a little differently this time. We're not just leaving the server open for anybody to join. We actually have to approve people, and there's a lot of people that just, don't take the approval process seriously, or, don't have like a good way to verify that who they are. And plus, yeah, we're doing that because we wanted to weed out people who are Kiwi Farms doxers, because Kiwi Farms was doxing people, just people who were in the server in general. And I just want to do my best to not have that happen. So yeah, we're gonna be a little stricter with kind of who we let in, but um, and that's just being able to prove that you're using like a real account, like you're not using like a fake alt account you just created. That's mostly what that's for. Um,
Let's
but
let's talk.
only lolicons and fags, not fucking true.
Don't worry, don't worry. We're gonna talk about lolicons more. It's not over yet. Let's talk a little bit more about Teto
Wonderful.
Kasan. Kasan? And I was told to remind everyone, this is not Nasichu Teto. That's Morph, different person. Anyway, Teto Kasan, also known as Gabriel in the pedo defenses. Let's see here. Making this point of contention in order to frame it as something it wasn't. Deflecting accountability for the moderators to take care of the supposed problems and blaming Miku when the rules especially said it was not allowed at all. It was what X-Band just said. You want to respond to that before we continue?
No, I agree with that. I mean, if the server was such a terrible place, then what the fuck were mods doing? Like, why do I even have mods if they're not doing their job.
Duties,
It's just not true. They're just so mad and blinded by their rage at me currently that they just make stuff up. And they're very good at that. They're very good at, like, spinning things.
We'll get to
one of the other people was arguing with the Nines Discord. They do the argument thing where it's like, do you like soda? No.
Yeah.
Okay, so then do you hate all sodas? It's like, no. Or it's like, yeah, do you like Coke? No. Well, then do you hate all these other types of sodas? It's like, that type of argument is just super annoying. But they do that all the time. Straw manning and, yeah, just malicious attacks. Like, it's one thing to argue in good faith, but yeah, they're not doing that.
Yeah, right. Before we get to the next Teto thing, I do want to make a thing. This is the most amount of viewers I've ever had on Rumble naturally without a raid. So I guess we hit a record of 125. Congratulations.
Wow, let's go.
Splicer said, Red, I don't agree
Rumble hitting it off
with most of the shit you say online. However, I met some great people from all of this. I'm mad that you lied to the girls and how things went down, but I personally have no issue with you. Anything you want to say about that?
I don't expect everyone to agree with everything I say online. Yeah, everyone has told me that they've made real friends and, had a bunch of fun with the whole thing.
It was fun.
Like I said, I understand that people are mad about the gender thing. And yeah, all I can say is I'm sorry and I apologize for it. But yeah, I appreciate you not having beef with me. Because yeah, I don't really have anything against you either. I don't mind that, we don't agree on stuff all the time. And I'm not mad at you for being mad at me. I think it's reasonable, but,
I met our true Oshi, the Dawn. I am a good Oshi, guys. It's just how it works.
Yeah, let's go.
When Nine said that on Twitter, I didn't actually know what an Oshi meant. She had to explain it to me. That's... I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, either, initially.
Let's see here. Ahmad told me that Teto Kasayan, also known as Gabriel, was an annoying, degenerate lolicon in your old server. Super tight with Black Kitten, which I don't think is true. I just want to quote, I don't think that's true.
I believe so.
Then you made him a mod in your new one. Even after his pedodarks on Kiwi Farms, why did you promote him post-exposure? Is that true? Did you keep him around even after post-exposure?
Well, I didn't mod him post-exposure. He was modded before I knew any of that.
Okay.
But he was unmodded for a while after it came out, but he wasn't kicked because, I didn't quite believe it, and like I said, there was lies and people were making things up. Even he lied to me, and, it took a while to get to the bottom of it, just because I have other things going on. But he eventually was kicked. But yeah, I didn't promote him post-exposure, no. I actually demoted him.
Nearly all mods say you defended Teto as a pedo by keeping him in the server's proof allegedly on Kiwi Farms, because I don't really check. True, and if so, what's the line between edgy and an actual pedo defense for you? By the way, this is a statement from nearly every single mod.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know everything that's going on all the time. Like, I stopped reading Kiwi Farms after a while.
From what I know,
I didn't quite keep up with it.
It's like 109 pages
I relied
now.
on other people for information. Yeah, it's like 109 pages. How am I supposed to know about that? You know, I believe from the date when that person's docs came out and the day I actually saw it was at least like a week or two. So they act like I'm fucking like why would I even it doesn't make any sense. Like why would I be so hard against pedos before my whole thing and like suddenly turn into a pedophile defender? Like that's just retarded.
It's retarded. Yeah, it is. Yeah. When you put it
It's
like that.
it basically just boils down is there's a lot of shit going on. It's like, I eventually kicked him when it all came out and someone was able to actually confirm that they were lying to me in certain cases and that certain parts of it were true. A lot of it was in a different fucking language too. A lot of it was in Spanish. I don't read Spanish, so I saw it and it's like, okay, I don't know what is being said here. And again, Kiwi Farms isn't a great source of accurate information. They lied about me, like with the Jewish thing. And again, this isn't running defense for somebody I don't like, but that one trans VTuber that had a doxing come out, I forget their name, but
Was it Nora?
they had fake, might have been Nora. They had created fake Discord screenshots and posted that as evidence against them. So how am I supposed to know that a screenshot is like real?
Or doctored.
I don't know.
Well,
But
don't worry. We'll get to.
yeah,
Like
I'm
I
not
said,
doctored.
there was doctored screenshots sent to me because I told you in DMs. I was sent a group message between all of you, and then I was sent a group message between all of you. Okay, how about wait? I'll explain this better. Let me get my story straight. I was sent a group message from all of you from someone in that group message. I'm not going to say who, but it can only be one of 5 people. But then I was also sent doctored images of the group message, okay? That was sent to a video, like a guy who was making a video on you guys, like a telling about the story. And I reached out to him after he made it, had him send me those images, and they weren't the same. So
Yeah, and yeah, people send me fake shit too. Like, and that was constant. It was happening constantly. Like, so eventually you just don't trust anything anybody is saying. So,
mod
they had
site.
doxed people in my server and attacked people in my server. So, I'm just not automatically going to believe what people are saying about other people.
On mod dynamics and betrayals, moderation was, quote, debated, but you had, quote, final word. W investigator, thank you. I take it very thorough. Mods lost roles for, quote, abuse, unless rules were explicitly broken. Was it collaborative? They say it was, quote, Miku's way or the highway. One of the mods says you ignored Crackdown please from everyone but King Cran / Bat Kitten, as they didn't ask.
And I didn't ignore Crackdown, please. There were many cases where mods would take action and they'd tell me what they did and why, and I would be like, good job, great, thanks for doing that. They did things on their own accord. They didn't always seek my approval. Maybe sometimes there were some cases where I overturned certain things. But it mostly was probably just to play nice with the rest of the other Vtard girls' communities. I am the feeler of the server, right? So what I say does go, I don't know. I'm a fucking admin, so yeah.
Did you ever play favorites with King Cran or Black Kitten?
Now,
No.
I mean, I was a little partial to Black Kitten just because he was, one of the people who was there from the beginning and was mod for a while and did a fairly decent job when, it was first starting. But, when the other mods told me that, he was removing stuff that, wasn't necessarily breaking the rules, and he was, taking clips from the from the Discord and like posting on Twitter as his own, I guess. Yeah, that wasn't very great. But we stepped him down from mod, and he agreed, to not be mod anymore. But yeah, I mean, there was a lot of conversations, mostly over text, that we talked about things. It wasn't just like, I don't know. I feel like they're trying to say like Miku fucked everything up all the time, and I just don't believe that. I think they're a little blinded by hatred.
There's two things before we continue. How is it? I have to read this because Automod sucks, and I have to look at it as Automod deleted it. How is it that the Don is the only guy that actually did journalistic research when it came to the whole Vtard situation? It's because this is like my 15th interview, and I've been doing this for a little while. And
yeah, the Don's really in it.
I actually reach out to people. They'll take me to
actual
Gartha.
investigative journalism.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I mean, I play with spies. Not gonna lie, I do have people go into people's discords without them knowing. But I'm not malicious with it.
Really?
I'm not malicious with it. Like
yeah.
Like the people, it's just for interviews and stuff like this.
I think that's fair. It's just journalism.
Let's see here. This was the one I want. Oh wait, what was the other one that we asked? Oh yes, I was going to ask you about this too. According to Saturn's interview, Saturn and Akemi were best friends. Would you have considered the Vtards your friends at the time? Like, are you close in that way?
Yeah, I would consider them friends. Yeah, I mean, we talked and we had a good time, and we enjoyed doing things with each other, doing streams and stuff. So yeah, they're definitely my friends. I would say besides Akemi, they all still are. Even if maybe we don't talk as much, but definitely, yeah.
All right, 75. Spies were rampant, and Bitcoin leaked to Kiwi, which we know for a fact now. And when the info got out from the server, only he joined. I don't know where that information came from, but I know that secondhand. Someone told me that. How did you handle suspected spies, and did your lax bans make it any worse? Now, before you answer this question, I don't want anyone to defend Bitcoin, because if you don't know, one of the reasons Shiro left, because Shiro tried to reach back out to Akemi and stuff. Apparently, she went through Bitcoin, and I have a screenshot of this. Bitcoin deleted every message that ever sent to her, and then even lied to Akemi about what Shiro said originally. And
Wow.
a few other things, because I think Bitcoin doctored the images that was sent to that interviewer. I think overall Bitcoin did a lot of damage to the friendships, and I think he did a lot of damage to how things went, especially the Vtards. If I had to name any mastermind that led to the downfall, it would be Bitcoin.
I probably would agree with that, from what it sounds like. But yeah, people are making doctored up things, saying things that aren't true. It's very hard to get to the bottom of what the fuck is actually going on a lot of the times. Like, yeah, you gotta, you have to spend like hours like researching one freaking controversy just to figure out what to do. I don't have that much time in the day.
Well, they
But
said,
how did I handle suspected?
spies. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna reread the question in case you needed it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we just did our best. A lot of it is like trying to coordinate and see like what was leaked and who would have known certain pieces of information. It's basically just you become like an investigator and you just do the best you can. I haven't seen anything else leaked from the new server, so I think we got most of them and have been keeping them out, which is good. But I don't think that's going to last forever. So, and I'm pretty sure I had this in the old server, which is like, I think it was in the rules, which is like, don't post your docs or anything. Expect that people here are gonna docs information. It's the internet. Don't go posting your face pics or whatever and expect not to, not for somebody not to take those and do whatever.
Yeah. It's
You
it
gotta be
was
careful.
it was funny to me. They posted my face in that form, and I'm like, bro, I literally stream 6 days a week. My face is right here. I think they thought I was a VTuber or something.
To maybe with the bull thing.
Yeah. All right, let's see. On CP rumors, Jewish claims, and server fallout. There was mixed reports about you distributing CP. I don't believe you did.
Jesus
I have that here.
Christ.
A mod commented, "I wouldn't be surprised." While there's no concrete evidence, and there isn't, it's all hearsay. Given all of the
It's all
circumstances,
bullshit.
did you ever suspect anyone or witness CP being shared by anyone else? What's your stance on the reports?
No. I do not share CP. I never have. Holy shit. I mean, there was the Matrix thing,
Yeah.
which I never actually saw anything CP, but from what Bitcoin and the others, mostly Bitcoin, I think, told me is that there was actual CP in that server. But
Can
again,
you trust
completely
what
separate from our Discord, our entire community.
can you trust what Bitcoin said, knowing that he did all this stuff
I
back?
don't even know, actually. I mean, I knew the Matrix server was real because he
Okay.
had like the logs and stuff. But yeah, I never saw the actual pictures of that shit. So I don't know. It might not have been real. Who knows? I mean, but yeah, it's just ridiculous bullshit claim. Give me some proof and then we'll, prove it. Jesus Christ.
I asked the mods point blank, "Do you think Kenneth is Jewish?" Mixed reports. You denied it publicly with a DNA text. Why do your ex mods keep pushing this narrative?
I mean, it's in the zeitgeist at this point. Like, nobody cares to actually like look at the DNA test, which is out there. I'm pretty sure it's on Kiwi. But nobody cares to like look that far because it's just much easier to just call me a Jew and just hate on Miku. Because it's the popular thing to do. It literally takes no thought process. And from the standpoint of like memes and stuff, I can understand why it's funny. Yes, it is funny that if somebody were actually Jewish to be doing the whole Nazi thing, yeah, that sounds funny. But if it's if it's too good to be true, it probably is. So yeah, I just think it's easy for them to do, and it's popular, so they just go with the crowd.
I'll take your word for it. Given
But
what I've
yeah,
heard
I'm
so
not
far,
fucking Jewish.
your word in Dawn is more honest and open. So there it is. Okay.
And Kiwi Farms also like sort of disproved the whole Jewish thing too, because they looked up like the funeral for my fucking father and saw that like it wasn't a Jewish funeral, it was a Christian funeral. He was buried in a cemetery with a cross and everything, you know. Like I actually didn't know that that was like publicly out there. I don't quite know how they found that, but that's true. Like we had a Christian ceremony. I wasn't there actually because I wasn't very on good terms with my dad. I did not like him, uh but
Cougar.
yeah, I mean the guy that they connect me to the whole Jewish thing, this Bob guy, he's not related to me at all. Like that's like saying like fucking Andrew Schultz is related to me. You know, he's a famous comedian who
Right.
is German, by the way.
I'm
Actually has the same last name as me.
I'm 25% German.
Because a lot of Jewish people actually that have the last name Schultz, they spell it with a T. My last name is the German spelling of it without the T. So, and that's the same as Andrew Schultz. But basically, they're just saying like, you know, like I'm related to Andrew Schultz or something. It's the same type of logic. I mean, I don't know who that fucking guy is. The company that they're talking about has nothing to do with what my dad did. Like, um, you know, so they just don't care to look into the details. And you know, what can you do about it? It doesn't even bother me that much because it's like I know it's not true. So who cares what everyone else thinks? Uh, and and like I said before, you know, it sort of helps spread the message that I'm going for a little bit. So yeah, I just think it's stupid.
It is stupid. Cougar says, Dawn asking them hard penis pumping questions. Thank you, Cougs. Cougs is one of my mods in my server. He's been great to me. I met him through my friend Bob, and he's a great guy. Xbane said, sorry to hear that that's just low for them to have done that. That's a private family thing. For F's sake, disrespect. Furry Kitten said, 100%. I also just received a thing that apparently they're in a watch party watching the interview in Saturn server.
Oh yeah, just like the famous Miku watch parties. That's where it all started, right? But you know, I'm glad that they're doing that. Who cares? But you know, those were fun. Those were fun times.
All right, let's see here. Based on mod testimony, this server was hit to 60 to 80%, quote, degenerates, pre-docs, because, quote, you did nothing on softcore lolly slash gay stuff, and said it was, quote, really bad. Why let it rot instead of empowering your mods to do what needed to be done?
Brett had the power. What the fuck? Like they had the role, they had the ability to kick people. How am I not empowering mods?
Well, they said.
What, am I supposed to give them admin?
No. They said they would have gotten in trouble for kicking them when they wanted to. Let's put context there.
No, that's not true. Like I said, there were some people that their bans got overturned, but most of the actions they took, they did of their own accord, and then told me about it later. Yeah, of their own volition, and told me about it later. And then I was like, either okay, that for the most cases, it was probably like one or two that I was like, okay, let's not do this. But in most cases, I was like, great job, good job, you banned them, awesome. You know, I did empower my mods. So you know, if you want to say the server's full of degenerates, maybe that's the mods not doing what they said they were gonna do.
They said 60 to 80%, which is an extraordinarily large number.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous. It's just so untrue. It's maybe like 5 or 10.
Kenneth,
and that's still a
lot. Kenneth, your very first mod team was King Cran, Black Kitten, and Giga Chad. You say they say
no.
you had a mod VC and a secret mod chat. Okay. You told them you were you were removing your voice changer to speak to them in your real voice. Then you switched to a second, more feminine voice changer and claimed that it was you. Why lie to your inner circle like that? Now, I want to add context before you answer. King Cran said this did not happen. Black Kitten and Giga said it did happen. Now you can go with your response.
Well, Giga's just a liar, so we can kind of disregard his opinion on that. And he was not part of the first mod team. He came on way later, after I think either Rich Mechanic or one of them, maybe Nosec, was like, "Okay, bring this person on too." I was like, "Okay, fine." But yeah, the original mod team was King Cran and Black Kitten for sure. And yeah, I don't believe I've said that that I was gonna use my real voice, and I definitely don't have a second voice changer. This is the only one I've ever used. So I think King Cran is correct. I don't think Black Kitten is lying, but I think he just might be
mistaken,
confused, or mistaken. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and in terms of like the secret voice chat, I mean, we had a mod voice channel, we had a mod voice text thing, but it wasn't a secret. That's just what mods have. So.
Maverick says people should ask Sentra the same question or just act like a pussycat.
Oh, Zentria? Yeah.
Yeah. No, I shared with Black Kitten a image of himself saying this quote in the old server to Nozak. So he must have thought at some point this too. Because he didn't just come to the conclusion now. He came to the conclusion then. And there was also a
Nozak?
No, Black Kitten. There's a screenshot from Black Kitten all the way back then. Like the day of this supported story. Then there was also a quote from one of the mods that you tried to play this trick on the Vtard girls, which I went and asked, and they all say is not true. So,
play a different voice changer?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, no, that is not true. I mean, this is the only one I've used, and I know that because I spent a lot of time looking for a decent voice to use. And it took me a while to find this one, and yeah, I don't have any others. So, yeah.
When the dogs went out,
I don't think it's true.
There was a rumor that day that you had confirmed your real voice was feminine, then honestly just some simps coping hard Lamau. Wild that you got in contact. It's wild you got in contact with Black Kitten for info. The Dawn finds everyone. Yeah, so I actually talked to every one of his mods other than Baelish and Bitcoin for this interview.
What I might have said is that the voice changer isn't very different from my normal voice. Which is like, if I was an Indian or if I was a British person, you would hear my accent come through in the voice changer. But like when I talk into it normally, I am just talking normally how I would. I'm not like performing something behind the voice changer. So I may have said something like that to that effect.
Furry can go ahead and continue.
Because I think I actually had a conversation with Kiss Alice, who he uses the voice changer, before all the lolicon stuff happened, I think. But me and him are fine anyways, so, but, which is that I think what he does is he actually, like, voice acts behind the voice changer. Like, he plays more of a character behind the voice changer as well, which I don't do that. I just talk normally behind it and let the voice changer handle everything. So yeah, if I was talking like I was from Britain and you would hear it, something like that.
Yeah.
You
Hurricane says, I'm checking under my bed
but
tonight for the Dawn and his informants. Let me say something absolutely insane. Tomorrow's interview with Starcat, I went through every single word she ever spoke on Discord in all of her posts on there. From every server.
That's intense.
It took a very long time.
You probably know her better than she knows herself at this point. That's funny.
All right. Well, we're on community questions. That means you're near the end.
Wow. It's been quite a good set of questions. They were not easy to answer, but you definitely got to the bottom of a lot of stuff. I think there was
I didn't want to
quite a few BS questions, but that's not your fault.
Yeah, I didn't want to
lying and shit.
I went through all of your previous interviews, and I didn't want to reiterate a lot of stuff that was already said. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I would definitely say it's one of the more informative interviews that I've ever done.
Experience says, I have a Russian friend who used a voice changer and was a female VTuber. I knew he was a dude and became friends and still talk, even taught me some Russian. IDGAF about it. All just people. Yeah, true. True.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not perfect, I think people might be a little too harsh on me, but like I said, I can understand why people are upset about things, but at some point, you kind of have to get over it. I don't know.
Let's go with
I'm not saying, like, forgive me or, like, come back, but, it's not good to hold a lot of hate in your heart like that.
Royal Tiger says, what radicalized you into these opinions and why Miku as a base? I said Royal Tiger, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I was always, like, pretty right-wing. Probably the most thing that radicalized me into doing the Nazi stuff was just the left calling everything and anything a Nazi, right? Like, that happened to me. I mean, I would just have, like, a normal opinion or something, like, close the border, and suddenly they're like, oh, you're a fucking Nazi. You just get tired of it, and you're like, at one point, you're just like, fuck it. I am a Nazi then. What now?
Yeah.
What are you going to do about it now?
I mean, just today, I was called a racist or misogynist, and that's only one of 9 comments. I'm not sure in the other ones because they were DMs with influencers that I care about. Just because I'm doing this interview with you. Like, I literally posted it on Twitter. Yeah. I'm like, bro, if you don't like them, don't watch. It's
not surprising.
Like, don't be upset
really is
about
that simple, right?
I had another VTuber who left my Discord just because you joined. Said, good run. Nice job.
That's funny. Annoying, but funny. But yeah, I mean, I say this to people. It's like, as a podcaster, somebody who interviews people, it's like, you need to have controversial people on. You're not going to have hunky-dory guests all the time. You got to do stuff that pushes the edge. So you got to do something that makes people talk and make it interesting. That's your job as, like, a podcaster. And it doesn't mean you would agree with, whoever you're interviewing's politics or beliefs. Like, I'm very positive we do not believe the same things. So, I hate the association thing. It really bothered me watching all the other girls get attacked for similar stuff. and have their own fallouts and things that they had to do. Like, yeah, if I had to do it over again, I probably would not be like directly Nachisu Miku. Like, I wouldn't have framed it in a political manner. Not because of what goes on against me, but because of the effects it has on other people. That I don't like to see. It's very unfair. Um,
You
and
guys,
yeah,
go ahead.
I probably would have been able to do more with it than just politics. So, making it political right off the bat, probably not a great idea. Not my best, not my finest idea.
I was shadow banned on Twitch. They didn't delete my account, but I used to get enough for partner, denied me every time, and now I get 6 people. Thank you, Twitch. So,
Wow.
that's just how it works.
Yeah.
I moved away from Twitch.
Yeah. We're lucky to have other platforms outside of Twitch now. So.
XPN, yes, I have. Splicer says, yeah, Dawn, you portrayed everyone by platforming a bad guy totally. I honestly, I say this to everyone that comes onto my interview. It is not for me. It's for you to say what you want on topics that people are misinformed about.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Hurricane says, I didn't realize you literally made an emote of her in the prep. The prep is off the charts. Yeah, every single Vtard other than a Kemi, because it's a Kemi, gets a emote in the thing. Every interview I've ever done has an emote. So if you want to see who I've interviewed, you pretty much can look at emotes. I mean, some of my mods have an emote as well for them. But it's pretty obvious who I've interviewed based on my emotes.
The artists that did that, they did a very good job on it.
Yeah, that was BM. He did a good job on. Germanic Vengeance says, this is better than morphine pills. Thank you. Germanic, thanks.
That's impressive.
So you respect the opposite left streamer does, censors everything. Yeah, I'm not gonna censor everything. Never. I mean, I'm gonna have to censor probably the emoji symbols when it goes to YouTube, not gonna lie. But unedited thing will be on Rumble, of course. So Shiro asked you, I guess the only question I have is why.
Why? Because it's funny. Really, it's just mostly because it's funny. But it's also probably kind of like a big fuck you to people who, are against us. But mostly because it's funny. For the lulz, I come from the old school 4chan stuff, the chaos agents. I don't quite believe in chaos magic per se, but there is something there, the meme magic idea of it all. I think it's funny. I think it's hilarious. It's hilarious watching people freak out. Like some of the funniest streams I saw were people just reacting to some of my clips. Like I think Smuggalana did. There's a bunch of like bigger VTubers. I'm like, holy shit, they're fucking reacting to my stuff. It's just hilarious to me. For the lulz. But
oh yeah, wasn't Kek like the Egyptian god of chaos or something?
Correct, yeah. Which turned out to be the frog and Pepe and all that stuff. That's some old school lore.
Over 6 million views on your bio clip. Is that true?
It might actually be true on the tweet. But I think it was somebody making fun of me. But it's still my clip. But yeah, I think on X it got like 6 million. That sounds, or You know, even if you're making a Holocaust joke there, that sounds correct, actually.
All right, one left.
No, it was really 271,000.
One left. Saturn. If he's doing okay overall after everything that happened, and this is a comment. I don't know what the question was, so I just put it all here. Sorry, Saturn, if I'm not supposed to say all this. I don't know what your question was. But ask him if he's doing okay overall after everything. We don't talk anymore, but I feel bad I cut him off so harshly because of Akemi telling me to. So there's your right there. I just want to make a point that Master Manipulator Akemi can't do anything without telling other people what she wants. I hope for the best for him, even with everything that happened, because I don't think he's a malicious guy. It's very sweet. I think he made a really stupid mistake, but other than that, I think he's paid for it enough. And hope he does well in IRL and streaming if that's worth anything. And thanks for all the gifted subs that one time. It meant a lot.
Oh, well, that was very nice. Thank you, Saturn. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm doing okay. I mean, sometimes, you know, it's a little rough with, you know, everyone going at you constantly everywhere. And, you know, not being able to, like, do anything with other people because of other things. So, I mean, that's rough, but I think generally I'm doing okay. But you know, yeah, I'm not malicious. I just wanted to have fun with people. Um, you know, and yeah, that was very kind of her to say that. And yeah, and I have no harsh feelings towards Saturn.
It,
Um, you know, I did get that vibe that it was Akimi doing something. Um, and I guess that kind of confirms it.
yeah, well, she just said it, so. Did
Cause
that makes me think, did Akemi ever try to convince you of doing something when you were in the group? Like, just say that you needed to do something because she said so?
so not really. I don't think so.
Okay.
I can't say that she ever did that with me. Um, but I feel like she might be doing a similar thing with Elf and Saya
Yeah, but
because
Elfin
just
Saya
out of nowhere,
way huger
Elfin.
than her. Master Manipulate. You know what? I'm giving her a round of applause. We're giving her kudos. Master Manipulator right here. You got someone that is like 10x your
Yeah,
size to be on your side. Congratulations. Credit where it's due. But yeah,
fair
I think
enough.
that's the case. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
But it's just like I've never talked to Elfin. We've never engaged like content-wise, been in each other's replies, and just out of the blue, she just attacks me. You know, she didn't retweet my post because she was upset with my take on GTA. I just don't understand like where that came from. So I mean that can only kind of lead me to believe that I don't know, Akimi's whispering something in her ear for whatever reason. I guess maybe it's a jealousy again. I mean, I apparently that was a thing, but I don't know. Um, and yeah, Elfin is big, but she's also just a person at the end of the day. So I mean, anybody could convince her to do something. And they're friends. It's clear that they talk behind the scenes. So
I mean,
I don't know. Just very very strange for Elfin to just come out of nowhere and do that.
yeah. I mean, Akemi has turned her life around to like, I guess maybe mushrooms with that post and maybe the gore art because Elfin, I don't know where that came from, but it sure seems the grift is real with that one. Whoever is popular with her, she just kind of morphs into that person.
It's like I've come to find out. I mean, I think I did I say this earlier that it's like I don't think the whole Nazi thing was just me.
Yeah, you said
I
that.
think I
Well, I
said this
mean,
earlier.
there's screenshots of her hating the Jews more than you hate the
Like, even
Jews.
if
I'm
I,
pretty sure. By the way, I just want to make that clear. I
yeah,
think Akemi hates Jewish people more than he does.
it might be true. Maybe, probably not. But I mean, I don't like hate people, but I just don't like the practices they do and stuff. Um, but my point is that like even if I wasn't in the Vtards, I think they would still have the same problem. Maybe not as bad, but the same problem would have happened because the Kimi is not that far off from what I do, or at least wasn't. Now her whole thing has probably changed into something else. You know, gore and gooning and all that shit.
Such a weird flip flop, dude.
I mean, it's like, how does she expect people not to notice? Like, people notice this shit.
I mean, apparently,
So,
a former interviewer, I'm not going to say who it was, that interviewed you guys, he keeps me up on the Kiwi Farms things when he thinks it's funny. Apparently, like, one of her mods, Nier, joined, and they gave him the gay triangle. It's freaking
like,
hysterical. That's karma. Price of being rat. Rat behavior gets a price,
yeah,
dude.
somebody sent me that too.
Oh, man, that was
Because,
good.
yeah, I don't look at the farms that much, but somebody sent me that, and I was like, wow.
Rat
Why?
behavior price.
Why? Why would they?
He used
Why
the
do they
same
do
name.
that?
What are you doing?
Yeah, and it's like, I think in the screenshots I said they were roasting him, saying like, you know, did you expect to join the farms and just be like welcomed with open arms or something like to that effect? And like, yeah, like they fucking hate all of us. Like, what did you think was gonna happen? I
Who
just don't
knows?
understand why you even bother making an account, or rather posting in the thread. I don't know. It's strange to me.
The only thing I can
And
think of
she,
is
you know,
malicious, but yeah.
there were no questions about follower of Christ, but I will say this about follower of Christ.
Okay.
He did joke about the docs thing, but that's how I took it. Was it was a joke. He's quite autistic,
Mm-hmm.
and you know just says shit. But I don't take him that seriously, and I don't think he's capable of actually going and doing all that. So, you know, but she was the person that kind of blew that whole thing up against follower of Christ. You know, saying he's a doxer when he didn't actually dox anybody. He joked about doing
Yeah,
that,
he did
or
not
you
actually
know, was
dox anyone.
angry. He's not actually doxing one, and now she's got her fucking mods joining the farms, like going into the dox stuff. It's just, you know, going into Shio's dox. It's just like, what the fuck? Like,
Extremely hypocritical.
what are you doing?
Hey,
Yeah, it's just
you'll
unbelievable.
never know.
I did not expect that from Akimi when we first met. You know,
I'm
and I think we were cordial for the most part. Um,
from this point
you know,
forward
and
because I know she hates it. Every time I refer to Akemi on my on my streams, I'm just gonna refer to her as Lardo because she's very petty
like,
about her beauty.
you know, it is what it is. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, she's overweight, but you know, I don't. To be honest, I don't like attacking Akemi either. Um, you know, things didn't have to go this way. I mean,
If she didn't ban me from her server because I was in her trusted just for being in Shiro's, I would agree with you. But she was
yeah,
crazy enough and petty enough, and honestly, it's pathetic. Just because I'm friends with someone else to get
yeah.
rid of you, that that pisses me off. Like I'm pissed.
That's understandable. I mean, yeah, I mean, I was very angry, you know, when she was saying all the shit she was saying about me, you know, but I tried to at least take the high road. And and I think when she got her second account banned on X, like I posted about it I said that's a shame, just like, damn, that's too bad or whatever. But she took that as like I was celebrating her getting banned. It was like, no, I wasn't celebrating it, but I'm just like, look, she got banned. She's clearly doing something fucking crazy. Like, what's going on with her? You know. I did say for the record, I did not like seeing her get banned. I don't think she should have got banned.
I want to make a point here. You can go into my Twitter and go back and look. I said, I'm sorry Akemi was banned. She shouldn't have been banned. And I think it was wrong. And she should have the free speech to say she wants. I don't have to like her. But I do believe she has the right to post stuff.
And she also knew this from like when my account got banned. Like, my account got banned for the, we're gonna fucking kill you meme. And I'm pretty sure that's why she got banned twice, was because she made threats against people. Like, I don't know. It's not that big a deal, but it's just not what I would have expected from her at this point. And it's kind of sad, to be honest. Like, we had fun, when we were doing shit, and see that kind of, flip around into something like malicious against each other because of things other people say. And yeah, the Mayo thing was a problem between us, but we had come, she might have still been mad about it, like, in the background, but she didn't voice that to me in that way. She basically accepted it fairly quickly, and like we kind of tried to move forward fairly quickly. I really don't want to leak DMs, and I don't plan on doing that, but
I have a lot
that's
I have
kind
a
of how
lot
it
of
went
DMs
down.
already. I have enough evidence
Yeah.
of other people sending me DMs that I'm like, that's it. I can tell who's who.
Yeah.
All right, this is the end. Not helping you. And then she put a freaking what was it? A walker on her throne page, like a run thing, like one of those things that models get so you can walk. Go freaking walk
Like a
outside.
treadmill?
Yeah, go walk outside. What are you doing? What is this?
Yeah,
Hurricane says principles of free speech are more important than petty squabbles. Absolutely. Hello, Sandra. Absolutely.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
If you don't have free speech, you don't have anything in your country. If people limit what you look at Britain right now, hell on earth. One of my friends, I'm not going to name who it was, but she is a girl that lives in Britain, and she had the police officers show up at her house because of a tweet. Another streamer friend of mine that was here.
That same thing is actually what I was saying the other night about Elfin Psyop, because to my knowledge, she lives in the United Kingdom. I don't know if that's true or not, but if she does, she has to be very careful with what she's saying. Like, she's going off on me and the Jew thing. She's got to be careful. People have gone to jail for that in the UK, so I'm not saying that should happen, but, it's a little different here in the States. So, and I didn't know that, but, that would be crazy. Yeah, because people in the United Kingdom have been locked up for quote-unquote hate speech. I don't believe that's right, but, if Elfin's in the UK, she's gotta be careful with that shit.
I mean, seriously. Furry says an absolute outrage around as bad as it was in places like Australia during the lockdowns. I heard about that. Maverick says we defeat German and communism only to become like them. You know why we're like them? We're like them because retards are hurting. Okay? Poor people are hurting. This country, you can't make it in this country anymore. And they have nowhere else to turn to. Are you surprised Mandani won? I'm not. Madani wanted to change the status quo just like Trump did, and why people voted for Trump. And it might be in a different manner, but it was still different than whatever the hell they had before. I don't like him, but I see why he won.
That is true. A lot of the things that Donald Trump has said he was going to do, he hasn't quite done. And, he likes to go out and say the economy's so great. But a lot of people are still in a rough spot right now. We're not seeing whatever the fuck he's talking about to your everyday person. So, they're building big factories. Okay, well, where the fuck are those jobs? Why aren't people getting hired? Things like that. So, yeah, I can understand why the other side would win. And plus, that guy, New York is completely blue. That's never going to change. So, yeah, a blue Democrat won in a blue state. I don't think it's quite that big a deal.
But it was still different than freaking Andrew Cuomo, who had the chance to win. With Trump, I think.
Oh yeah, it's way worse.
In the long term, he helped us up a lot. If you look at it that way, it's just that no one sees those benefits, and no one can give him the credit that he's due.
Yeah.
All right. And I don't think giving everyone $2,000 in stimulus checks or whatever is really going to help things.
Yeah.
But I know why they're doing it.
I don't think so either.
Because people are retards. They see $2,000 and they're like, oh man, actually, what about the SNAP benefits, whatever we had? $2,000. Would you look at that? There, you know what? Instant gratification. It's psychology right there. Let's see what they say.
So genius for Trump to do that, right? Because, he can frame it as the Democrats are holding back the EBT stuff because they're keeping the government closed. And then Trump is going to send them $2,000 so then they can go buy food. So Trump is, framing it in a way like he's saving them. It's genius. It's genius for him to do that. But the other thing I don't like is the 50-year mortgage thing. I think that is fucking insane.
It is insane, yeah. For
sure. It's like it might lower the cost for the initial purchase, but that's not going to solve the housing crisis. The only thing that's going to solve the housing crisis is increasing supply, because that's a problem right now. Demand is going nuts, and supply isn't matching. So you need to build more homes. The 50-year mortgage thing is very Jewish. You might get a lower initial price, but you're going to pay you buy a $500,000 house. By the time you're done paying it off, you're going to have paid $1.2 million in just interest. So that's just money towards the bank. That's not money paying off the house. So 50-year mortgage, you're just getting raped by the banks.
If you're Jewish, you don't even have to pay interest. It's against their religion.
Yeah, right. That's the joke I made the other night. It's like, if I really was Jewish, I would not be doing this. I would be working at a bank. I would be a CEO of some Jewish company somewhere, something like. I would be getting 0% interest loans. It's like. Fuck. But yeah, that is crazy.
Expense says they expect us to forget everything they tried to push, centering people, pushing agendas, ruining people's lives. Yeah, they did that forever during the Biden administration, during Obama. You know how bad it was. It was. Bro, any day of the week I would have what we had now, except for those times. We do not have gay furry porn everywhere, which, I mean, I still see a lot of it, surprisingly, because of the nature of my job here. I wish I didn't. Let's see. Furry kittens say, and he's just erratic and hard to take seriously. His grandiose claims are exhausting. That's true. Cost is all done by robots nowadays. So yeah, Dawn, you're right. There's people that even denied the fires in Lue. We don't have the eyes. I think that's Trump derangement syndrome. They just hate him to hate him. Furkins, absolutely not. It will be inflationary, just like the last time he did this. X-Men says it's literally the Democrats that refuse to help the situation. Dems had 40 on the bills and needs at least 51. Republicans were in at 50. Dems 51, low 40s. Anything you want to say about that?
Yeah, I mean, I agree, right? Yeah. refused. Okay, the Democrats refused to help the situation by the Dems. Yeah, I mean, I think what you're saying is, yeah, the Democrats are hurting themselves, and yeah, I would agree with that. I don't know.
The Senate thing, the government shut down.
I mean, the Senate thing. Right. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Right.
Yeah, they're keeping it closed.
Yeah, the government shutdown is on them. There's somebody put together a montage of all the Democrats saying why they're keeping it closed, but they're also saying it that they're using it as leverage. It's like, okay, well, look at that. If you want EBT so bad, the Democrats are using your EBT as leverage against Trump. So, yeah, it's definitely on the left. And I applaud the Trump administration for not opening the government to to not give billions of dollars to illegal aliens' healthcare. Fuck that. Like, I agree with that. We should not be doing that. So.
Okay. I guess in closing, is there anything you want to say?
We got a little political. Well.
Nature of being on Rumble, I guess. That happens a lot for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry for everything that went down, like, especially to the other Vtard girls. I should have done things differently. But I do think we had a lot of fun together. I think a lot of the problems that came about were all from external factors, between us. We were all very cool. Politics is kind of my own separate thing, and when we were together, we didn't really talk that much about politics. And it was a lot of fun. I think the whole Vtard thing, despite the controversy and the problems we had, was definitely fun. And, I would enjoy doing stuff like that again. Who knows if that's going to happen? Like you said, the Discord was a ton of fun. I think it is possible to bring that type of stuff back. I would like to. I think we had a lot of fun, and I don't see why we can't do that again. But yeah, I appreciate you having me on and doing the time to kind of get to the bottom of a lot of these questions. Many people don't go that far, and I think you did a very, very good job with it, even though some of the questions were kind of crazy from people that hate me, but that is what it is.
The nature of reaching out to previous individuals. Yep.
Yeah, especially with such like a heated thing. Like, it just makes sense, but
and yeah, no one else really
appreciate you having me on.
No one else really covered that topic in the other interviews. Wanted to get it out there.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, well, for me, tomorrow, this will be the end of the stream, and for the VOD, it will come out tomorrow. But tomorrow for streaming, we are going to have Starcat's interview. She'll be talking about the Vtard's era with Snowy. She'll be talking herself, a little bit about her growing journey, about the people she met along the way. If that's something you want to see, catch me tomorrow. Other than that, I guess this has been the DonCast, right? This has been the show. I hope everyone had
Let's freaking go. Thanks for watching.